Greetings, fellow Hapsters, and welcome, replay viewers. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is, wherever you are. How is everyone today? Come on in and join us. Come watch, come chat as I work on some wings. Hang on a sec. Perfect invention, wings on pants. No, there was wings on the skirt, right? For the Monarch Ferry. So we are here. I am here. And Christina slept in a little bit with some upsets going on last night. News that we'd heard over Haps last night. She was a little bit distraught, so she was up until about 4 or 5 in the morning. So she slept through her alarm, but she will be joining us as soon as she can. So give it a little bit of a chance for a few people to join in, and anyone who is watching us from any other platform, if you're on Facebook Live, if you're on Twitter Live or YouTube, by all means, come on over to Haps. Come join us here on the best network in the world, the best streaming app ever. Because from here we can stream to the other platforms, but when you're watching from the other platforms, you can't see the comments that other people are leaving. So by all means, come on over. The website is haps.tv. That's HAPPS.tv /at Carrhunger, CARRHUNGER. Don't forget the at symbol, and don't forget the second R in car, in Christina's last name. And come on over and join us here on Haps, and you can join in on the conversation with everyone else who's watching. So how's everyone this morning? It's going to be Christina will be joining shortly, as quickly as she can, once she's finished having some breakfast and dealing with a few things that she's got over at that end. And when she joins us, she will be pulling out the fairy ears, the elf ears that she's been working on, the plasticine sculpt from the ear molds that we made. And I am working on what we're calling the flap pack, which is the servo pack that operates the wings. And this is the original one that we built for Queen Maeve, for the Irish Fairy Queen, and it's got our two servos with our linkage arms. Hang on, get this on an angle that people can see it. Right. So, and those linkage arms connect to the wings themselves, which the hinges are mounted down the sides. And this mounts on a back plate. This is the original back plate, or a modified version of the original back plate that we're going to get some straps added to it. We have our, down here on the floor, if I grab it, we have our prototype that we were starting to work on last year, and ran out of time before the Halloween thing. So we ended up using the Maeve pack to do the Monarch Fairy. But this one here, we are going to pull the straps and shoulder bands off of this one and add them to to this pack, so that we have a complete and total unit for the Monarch Ultra, which is on September 21st. And from that, we're going to build a second unit for me to wear, because we have a second pair of Monarch wings. The Monarch wings that we made for Christina are the ones with the stained glass paints, the oranges and yellows and everything, and they look fantastic. We made a second pair that looks just as good in a different way. We made it with the cellophane, and it's a much easier process, much less time-consuming process than doing it with the stained glass paints. With the stained glass paints, you have to make sure that your surface is completely level, because the stuff is gonna want to run. If you have thick enough borders, then you can brush it in, and the borders keep it from flowing outside of the areas that you put it in. But it still has to be quite level, otherwise you get uneven thicknesses, and it takes a while for the stained glass paint to dry. Whereas with the cellophane, you cut the shapes out, a little spray glue, put them down, and then you're done, and then you laminate the top and bottom layers of the wings. So we're using Petchi for the top and bottom. We pre-paint the wings with the black outlines. Here, let me grab one pair, or one of the wings to show.
So I'm going to turn my mic on because I
Okay.
feel like it, and after all, I'm doing things like getting dressed and
There
stuff
she is.
like that. And Um,
I
you know,
get
you
this
guys don't have to see me getting dressed, but I can hear Martin in my ear,
because
and I'm like,
you
I want
know,
to say something.
because
I
you
want
know
to be part of the conversation. You know, yes, we're
we're
not
not
that kind of
that
broadcast.
broadcast.
Yeah, we just can't do it this way, honey.
I know it's hard to do. Yeah. Hey, Jedi Senshi, welcome aboard. Good
You know what
afternoon.
I didn't grab before I came here?
What did you not grab before you came
Baby powder.
here? Is it made with real babies?
Thank God this is
Uh,
video. You guys can't smell
Gemma.
me.
Hello, Gemma. Hi, dear. Just wanted to come on, and I don't think you saw the reply to your message on the post. He's fine. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that this morning because the first thing I did was check Haps, and I noticed the broadcast from last night um, is deleted. But then that question still stands. Who was that last night? That was on Jen's broadcast. I think it
Mhm.
was Jen. Whatever. I mean, it kind of like kind of sounded and looked like him, so it would be believable to be his younger brother. I'm very confused, but I was up all last night crying, and um,
Thinking that he had
I
passed.
even called this. Yeah, I even called the security person downstairs and said, "Can I come down and talk?" And cried all over them.
Oh my God.
Um, so I need some answers. You know, if this is like his brother playing a joke, or you know, is this him playing a joke? Is this like I just Martin? You're gonna have to read any
Yeah.
comments because I'm nowhere near the screen.
Oh, you're not near the screen. So Gemma says, I spoke to him. It was supposed to be his brother. I didn't see it, so I can't comment. But I only found out this morning myself, so wanted to check because I've been helping him for a while. Okay. It was. Oh, there's another comment that just popped through here. It was him himself, I believe. It started with a TikTok. Okay.
Yes, which was claimed to be his brother doing it on behalf of him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if I don't know how to feel right now.
Yeah.
Um, if this is all a joke, and I did see it, I watched it. I sent a link to Martin. I watched it 3 times. I tried my best to look at the person on the bottom portion of the screen. Just something didn't feel or seem right. Um,
Yeah.
I'm I'm not in a good space. I've been betrayed by a lot of people in the past few years, and
Yeah.
um, I've lost a lot by trusting, and I'm trying to relearn how to trust. So,
It was Anchorman
uh,
himself, I believe. I never heard of a brother. I just wanted to let you know he's okay. I know people were upset. I have nothing to do with it. I just know when I found out I was upset in contacting him. Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, as much as it can be a relief that he's okay, the feelings are still there from thinking that he had passed. So those feelings aren't just going to go away.
and there's a number of us that saw what we saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a number of us who saw someone who looks and sounds a hell of a lot like him. There was never a full facial shot. The person was wearing a hat and wearing glasses, and if that was him, then I'm sorry, my support for him is gone.
Yeah.
You know,
Katie's asking, was it a troll or someone being an ASS for the Yucks? Stolen account?
but no, but this is it. Visually on camera last night, and unfortunately the broadcast has been deleted now, but there's more than enough people who were there
Mm-hmm.
under his profile because a lot of us flooded to her video when we saw, you know, that Anchorman was on her broadcast. Um, but we saw
Mm-hmm.
someone who claimed that Anchorman's BJ's dying wish was to keep the profiles going his profile going until he passed away, but he just couldn't bring himself to delete them.
Yeah.
If this is BJ and a really bad joke, because one year, I think it was just last year, or was it earlier this year? I don't even remember now, but I do remember he had an April Fool's joke that went way too long
That's right. Yeah.
about how he's leaving Haps and the whole world's against him. And he didn't leave, he just hovered over everyone else's broadcasts. I mean, he's a good enough guy, but we're not going to get into it. But right now, Martin is dealing with a diagnosis of a dual personality that basically it has been triggered by his mother's passing.
Hmm.
And one moment he's a child, and one moment he isn't, and that's why he's seeking help, and that's why we're in two separate spaces right now, so that we can have complete, absolute isolated time and still have a home to live in. So if I don't know if something like that in autism is more drastic, I don't know if there's a similar type of diagnosis. Obviously, it's not the same thing as what Martin's going through, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know. But I know that right now in my life, and I did tell him I did tell him to his face on one of his broadcasts
Right.
that practical jokes are great for one day. They shouldn't go on a whole month.
Exactly.
Um,
There's a couple comments here from
so
Gemma, if I can address those.
yes,
Um,
please.
Gemma says, "Yeah, you can't just switch that off." I wish I was there, as I think I could have stopped it. Um, Having a hard time reading the white comments again. I blame myself. Well, don't blame yourself.
Don't.
Blame myself because I was trying to help him. I'm just sorry you went through this. I believe it was him and not his brother, though. Sorry I brought it to your.
Yeah, then
I just wanted you to know.
no, don't. First of all, don't be
Yeah,
sorry. Someone had to bring it to us. Okay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The only thing any of us can do is make our own decisions
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
and respect each other for making our decisions. And if a number of us say, "Sorry, BJ, that was too much. Got to
Hmm.
go," it's not your job to stop it. He is an adult, no matter who or what he is. He is
Yeah.
an adult,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Uh,
he is on a public platform.
yeah. So Gemma goes on.
So yes,
Yeah. She says he was sad he didn't have 1,000 followers on TikTok and couldn't go live. He thought he had no friends. I try to help him. I'm so sorry you're going through this.
honey, stop being sorry.
Yeah.
You are not him.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got access to whatever professionals he's got access to.
Hmm.
He's got options and choices that he can make.
Exactly. Yeah.
If he chooses not to make them, he chooses not to make them. All we can do at this point is each and every one of us has to decide how we feel and how we're going to handle it.
Hmm.
I've already posted on Eric's post because he had this long post about Thrawn attacking him and insulting him. I have never known Thrawn to do that, and Martin and I have known him
He
for many years.
he makes offhanded comments sometimes, but they're all tongue in cheek, right? And we accept them as such.
And
Right?
again, it's up to BJ to say, okay, I just don't want that person, so I'm going to block them.
Thank you, Gemma,
Yeah,
for
and that way,
the
when
hug
you
award.
block you, the what award?
Haps hug
Oh,
award.
geez, I'm not on camera. I can't hug.
I know.
Okay,
Uh,
you guys are just gonna have to trust me. I am wrapping my arms around my body and rocking back and forth, and the cats are looking at me like
I'll
I
do it.
am
I'll
some
do it for
foreign
both of us
creature.
because I'm on camera. He is indeed an adult, and whilst I've never met him in person, I saw him being bullied and wanted to help him. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, but he wasn't being bullied, honey. And this is what I tried to say last night to who was it? I think it was Bobby. But I was trying to say to the one other person because I was wrapped up. Names are beyond me at the moment. But I was saying that you can't be an advocate for other people. You can't tell people, and I told Eric the same thing on his post. You cannot tell other people to block people or get haps to take someone down because
mm,
every situation is a unique situation. Thrawn has been on our broadcasts many, many times, all the way back to practically the beginning of Periscope.
That's
We've
true.
had lovely conversations with him many, many, many times. He has got a very dry sense of humor,
Yeah.
and he's got a very well, he's Australian. What do you want?
Yeah.
Uh,
Katie says growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional. Yeah, some people
mhm.
never do. Yeah. Yeah, well, I remember Thrawn in the beginning. I mean, it mostly started with us teasing him about the space whales, right?
Oh my God, I
from
remember that now. I didn't until
Star
you
Wars
mentioned
Rebels,
it.
right? So,
So, everyone that we think is a bully is not necessarily a bully. And the best causes in the world are the ones that directly affect you. I know we all want to feel special, so we all want to do something for people, but at the cost of another person. Like, I mean, I have been part of a huge slander campaign back in BC,
mhm.
and no one heard me. No one listened to me. People who were diehard long friends dropped friendships with me because they didn't want to get in the middle of it. They didn't want to have to stand up and say, I'm going to make that decision to be there. This is not being friends with someone. Blindly defending people is not a friendship. It's not helping anyone because we're not being adults. We're letting everyone fight our battles for us.
Yeah,
And that's I guess that's great if you don't want to move ahead. But Michael, for example, Michael Bathurst, a lot of people criticize him uh, for for using copyrighted material, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He does give credit. And if you want to tell the person, if you want to find the person that he's using the material and get a hold of them and say, okay, this person's using your material and let them fight their battle, then that's great. But taking up all his broadcasts by attacking him and telling him that, he's a horrible person, et cetera, which I've seen people do. No,
that's
listen, hey, he's doing what he's doing. And if the people who own the stuff want to take him down, they will.
yeah. They
It's their
leave the
battle.
battle, leave the battle to the people actually affected. So many people have
And if they
champions for people without being asked to be. You know,
I
Michael.
mean, I had a longtime high school friend who is no longer a friend because he used Martin's and my images and video for his own musical gain.
Yeah, that's true.
And when I said, look, the least you can do is give us credit, that's all I asked for.
Mhm.
He said, no, his art is his art. And because he modified ours, it's no longer ours.
Which
So
is
I put up that I wanted everyone to block him and report him and stuff like that. And it was never taken down because I don't have enough power. But
yeah,
at least 50% of my school friends that I have in common with him are no longer friends with him. But I had to start that. That's my prerogative to do that, not the rest of you. The rest of you can point things like that out to me. That's great. But it's not your prerogative to fight my battle for me.
yeah,
You know, we can find meaning and purpose in better things like buying things like Martin's in my store.
yes. Please visit carhunger.ca and check out what's there. We put up the fairy crowns, the new fairy crowns. Since you're
Do
plugging
you
the
like the
store,
segue?
nice segue.
Did you like the
We're
segue?
not selling segways, but we are selling mechanical wings. So there's a certain amount of yeah, mechanical technology involved. Uh, right. So the fairy crowns that we just posted up last weekend. There are 6 different pre-made versions. Already have, yeah, exactly. Sadly, too many people like the drama and will involve themselves in stuff for the heck of it. Well, yeah, this is it, and it's
Martin, keep working while we have this conversation, please.
yeah, it's up to
Because
all
we
of us
do
to
have a
not sell
deadline.
them. We have a deadline. Yes, we have September 21st is the Monarch Ultra Run, the portion of the run that goes through Toronto, and we are going to be participating in that not as runners but as well-wishing Monarch fairies from the sidelines. So what we're going to do to start with is this is the backpack or the back plate um, that we're going to use for her wings, and we're going to take all the strappage and bands off of our prototype that never got finished and move them onto said plate. And, we got cutters here. Damn it. Looks like a cutting board. Kinda, yeah. Garbage in the garbage right.
Exactly. Sadly, too many people like the drama and will involve themselves in stuff for the heck of it. Yes,
Yeah.
you are right. I think people I think people are bored. Um, really, I think COVID has just made it worse. But you know,
Yeah. I think,
you can't. Martin, keep working, please.
all right.
I'm back at the camera just for a moment.
You're able to.
I'm trying to move things along, but not ignore our audience. As Martin
So
knows,
you can see comments now. Good.
it,
All right.
it's a this is part of the reason why both of us tend to go to air together. It's just I'm still waking up. But
Well, being up
but
till 4 or
yeah,
5 in the morning didn't help.
yeah, no, it didn't. And I'm very happy the security person last night at the down in the lobby was a very patient and understanding person and said all the right things and let me cry my eyes out and let me take my mask off for a minute at a safe distance. And so it was good. It was good. It was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason for it isn't good. But the
Yeah.
fact that it
Yeah.
happened is good. It's good. It's all good. Um, but yeah, this is part of the reason why Martin and I tend to go on together because um, I'm I'm a little more better in many ways of dealing with certain kinds of comments or moments in life or um, whereas he admittedly is not is the
I,
best
I,
way to put it.
I bury myself in the work. I do either one or the other. I just focus on reading comments and addressing them, or I bury myself in my work. I don't multitask to a point of being able to do both.
His brain works a little differently than mine.
Oh,
Now I am presently in the washroom looking at a mirror because I'm not going on camera without makeup. I did that a couple times and I looked back at it and went, "Oh God, no!" And I don't care what you all say about, oh, it's okay. For me, it isn't, and it's taken me quite some time to relearn what I need to feel good. And
yeah.
it does take money because I always do good quality makeup, and it even the lightest makeup job is important to me. But it's who I am. It's how I grew up, and it's not what I would call a big, huge obligation. Or you know, for me, it's actually very calming and a good way for me to start the day is to just get my makeup on.
Yeah.
I tell you, folks, I would have
Makeup
gone
therapy.
great in the 1940s.
Oh
I
yeah.
would have gone great in the 1940s. Woman gets up, she does her makeup, even if she's going to stay at home. You know, the clothing it works for my body type. The
Mm-hmm.
style is flattering. I was born in the wrong time period. Yes, I know that means I wouldn't have Martin, but
Oh, you
you
might. I
know,
just might be a different Martin, the 1940s Martin. Yeah. Zoot
oh
suits.
my God, that
I
would be
I'd get
awesome.
a suit.
You in a zoot
The
suit.
the big shoulders, the big hat, the wingtip shoes. I love it.
Actually, I kind of envisioned you as the kind of reporter look,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Uh,
especially when you had your copper hair. That stuff was so thick. You could get away with that layered short cut, you
right.
know, that distinct, that 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 kind of um classier version of Clark Kent. I know it's like impossible, but
Classier version. Well, Clark. Well, actually, I guess even when Superman was created, that was sort of almost the time period, wasn't it?
yeah,
So he had that
I
image.
could see you as I could see you as the sound effects guy.
We got to do that someday. We really got to do that someday.
My play, I don't know where it
Yeah.
is. I would love to produce that play.
There is a
I'd have
box
to switch roles though.
full of scripts and stories. I
Things
believe
I
it.
wrote.
Yeah, I believe it is over at staging. Okay, so I've got the
Hmm.
straps and the shoulder bands off of this one. So this one's going to go aside somewhere. Try not to throw things
I
all.
am I am getting my bangs out of the way, and I will come back and peek at the comments. I guess right now I'm grateful this isn't the house because then I'd have a further distance to come back to.
So the one thing I do need to make sure, uh, because of the position of the wings, how where they sit on the back, is to make sure that the shoulder bands are at the right point, so that the wings aren't sitting too low or too high. From the video,
I,
Christina. Uh,
hang on a second. I hear you there. I try to black out everything by being busy. I don't black out, I filter. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I can see the similarities between us. And it does feel good to not be alone in all this.
Hmm.
Um, and that does reassure me that whatever decision I make or Martin makes or Martin makes, we don't always make the same decision, contrary to popular belief. Um, but
Oh my God, we're
you
individuals.
know that you're going to stay with us and not chastise us if we decide that we're done with BJ. He's a
Hmm.
great guy. It's just this is not funny.
No.
This is really not funny. So Martin, what were you saying?
From the Monarch video that we just showed, how did you feel about the vertical position of the wings? They're in a good spot.
Well, um, my back's had more than enough things on it, and the back damage doesn't make it better or worse.
Right.
So I guess it's a matter of our audience. Do you guys think it looks good? I mean, if it's closer, is it going to bop me in the head? If it's further away, it's going to look like I'm sagging. And I
Yeah.
may be a mature fairy in age, but the chest is supposed to sag, not the wings.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to hit you in the head no matter what, because the angle of the pull this out, right?
Well,
The
keep in mind,
I envision this
this
in the
is
back.
going to be this is going to be the basis for our customer packs.
Yeah.
So you're going to be making everything, once we see whether or not this works well, you're going to be making everything based on that thing in your hand.
Hmm.
So think of all the other designs of wings that we're doing,
Yeah.
because it's one design a pack. We can't do a different design for every single type of wing.
Exactly. Otherwise, we're doing
Now,
custom.
if someone custom orders, it's a whole different
I
thing.
mean, the wing colors and shape can be custom, but the mechanical pack has to stay the same for all of them.
Do you
There
want
has
me
to
to
be.
replay the video before I get into makeup here
Um, yeah, actually,
so
give
that
it
they can see?
give it a replay. I think from
Play.
my remembrance of it, they look
Hang
like
on,
they're in
I'm
a really
coming
good
back.
position. So let's take another look here.
I mean, they feel good on me. So I'm going to change to PIP. And let's run the video once again. And folks, what we're looking for is, what do you think about the angle and the look of these wings? Do you think that they look good the way they are?
Are they too high, too low?
Even position on the back. Now they're just sitting literally just above my waist. It does make it a little difficult to sit down to sit straight. Thank you, Gemma. But and you can see where the wings sit on my butt line because of the shape and size of them.
Yeah.
So the question is, if you guys were buying this mechanical pack and those wings, what would make you comfortable? Thank you, Gemma.
Thank you so
Your
much.
kid
Yeah.
needs food before your child starts gnawing on your leg. Maybe a little higher on the back, Jedi Sensei says.
Yeah. That's yeah. I
Okay.
think that would actually make a bit of sense because I'm noticing on the bottom wings too, like you were saying, it makes them a little bit low, and
Totally would.
totally, it makes them a little bit low. And yeah, what you're saying about for being able to sit down, or just the fact that it looks like almost like they're slapping you in the butt every time they flap. So having them up just a little bit higher might solve that.
Okay,
Okay.
so what that needs, so what you need to consider, and I know this is a problem that a lot of other people doing similar things comes across, is where the shoulder blades are.
Hmm.
If the shape has to change a little more, because right now it is skinnier in the middle. But
Hmm.
you have to keep in mind shoulder blades move when arms move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you going to have to design all the electronics and everything to be more compressed so that piece up between the shoulder blades doesn't exist because we don't know how much space is between people's shoulder blades when we sell these online. I mean,
Hmm.
that right there, that shape is fair for me at the position, and I do see what she means about a little higher up. But if
Hmm.
that were to go higher up, you see the bottom portion of that curve would jab
Yeah.
into my shoulder blade.
Yeah.
So does the shape of the pack have to be changed? I recommend that that corner be eliminated altogether. That it
This
goes
here.
straight down from this. Yeah, that it goes straight down on an
Yeah.
angle.
That actually makes a lot of sense. And where this ends up mounting, we've got room for that to be cut
See,
out.
that's no big deal because that can, that can obviously stay across the shoulder blade because, and the wearer has to keep in mind um, the amount of movement that they may cause. But one of Martin's
Right.
biggest problems is overthinking.
Let me get back to you on that. Cheeky.
You look great, thank you. Um, and I do want to design it again with keeping the cross strap in front in mind because
Yeah.
wearing the wings with especially Mal even more so. So we should keep in mind that there should be a little more in the front
Hmm.
so that the cross is just above. But every woman's bust is in a different position.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't think you have to worry as much about it. So I guess people are just gonna have to
No.
redesign their
Nothing.
costumes around it. Um,
Nothing. Yeah. The height.
well, what happened to the thought? What happened to the thought of designing the straps so that they're straight down and a strap? Oh, right, because of the way the wings move, it pulls back, and pulling back on an angle is better.
Yeah.
Then maybe the metal piece over the shoulder should be a little shorter,
Yeah. Well,
but that
that's
puts
kind
the
of.
strap higher.
But you
Oh, I
mean moving
see. Okay.
up here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'll jab into the shoulder blades.
Well, we did.
See, guys, this
Yeah.
is the design process. It's annoying as all hell because you're never going to make everyone happy. Um, I'm happy with the discomfort, and I don't mind redesigning things a little bit. But will
Hmm.
you guys, as customers, what do you see in here? Feel free to put comments in after the fact.
Hmm.
I think, Martin, what we should do is have the metal strap be a standard, like not go too
Right.
far down as to jab and Jedi
Eh.
Senshi.
Nice.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Um, and just give them two strap options of
Hmm.
either straight down with a single strap under the bust line or
That
crisscross.
or cross.
Because it's
Yeah.
easy enough. Yeah, it's easy enough to give them options on that.
Yeah. That's true.
It's X number of dollars if you want the strap across because it's an extra one. And we just put two clasps on the belt line, or even the same clasp can probably
Hmm.
work. It's just whether or not you're going across or whether or not you've got a strap underneath the bust. If we
Yeah.
budget it right, we wouldn't even have to do a cost difference.
No, that's true. It's just a matter of are the straps mounted in location A or location B, or the buckles for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually,
Or we
that's
can even send the buckles. We can even send the buckles separately.
and the
Like
hardware.
attach the
Yeah.
straps and then tell them they have to stitch the buckles on wherever they want.
Hmm.
I don't think people would mind that.
No. No. That would
Again,
work.
folks who are watching this in replay, hopefully you got this far and past the other conversations.
Hmm.
Um, Gemma, if you're seeing this, don't feel bad about it.
No.
We
It
did
is
have the
what it is.
conversation with you. It is what it is. Yes. So I'm still trying to put makeup on, Martin. Um,
Okay.
And I don't mean on you. I mean on me,
Makeup on Martin.
Martin. Um,
Hey,
so
that's fine.
hopefully people see it this far. So reiterate what we just discussed, please.
Okay, so the plan is we make sure the shoulder bands aren't too low. In other words, if we keep them in roughly in the same location that they are right now, that way, and we can trim some of this down away,
Well,
so
they'll be
it's
a
not
little lower in order to bring it up,
in order to bring this
right?
up on the back of it. Yeah, and then we give the option by sending the buckles separately. We give them the option of where they actually want the shoulder strap to attach.
So
Whether
right now, I assume you're pulling out the Dremel and cutting off that corner.
Yep. Yep. So I just got to make sure how much corner needs to be cut off, and then I can start
Well,
drilling. And
if you can do that quickly, I can go put my makeup on so I can get on
hey,
camera and get working with
I
you.
can do that. Oh, I can do that. No problem at all.
And yes, folks, I do talk like that in real life. I am that sarcastic, and he is fairly used to it.
Fairly used to it.
If he's not after 34 years, like we got a problem.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to see that line because that's going to be on my back. I want to say,
Yeah.
and you may have to shorten the middle piece too because it's going closer to the neck now.
Shorten this. Yeah. Well, this is almost on this version. This is almost not doing anything at all. We can practically lop it right
Oh,
off.
well then why don't we lop it right off
We lop it right off.
and
Why don't we
make
just?
the top of the pack, it, the top of the pack curved.
Yeah. So let's see here. I need a bigger Sharpie to show a better line. Hang on. So we're just off.
It's going to
One thing.
adjust. It's definitely going to change your blah. The upper pack is going to have to the upper pack's going to have to be designed differently.
Yeah, well, this upper area
No,
here.
the lid.
Oh,
the lid, the lid,
cover, the
the
shell,
lid, the cover,
the shell.
the thing, the quest.
So if we do something like that.
Hang on a second. Let me see. No. No. No, that is a weird shape, and that's going to be hard to make a cover. What's with the extra little bit there? I mean, why isn't it just a curve?
Oh, why this here?
Yes.
So we just want to get it to go straight down then.
Yeah, but not out like that. How tight can we make it? I need to see the mechanical part. Mechanical part. Right. Oh yeah, see, you can make it easily tight.
And even this would be lopped on.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to take off some of the black.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, Martin! I want to be on camera because it'll be easier for me to just use my fingers. So,
Okay.
can you look at Can you spend 5 minutes here and just go over the electronics and
Sure.
think about that?
Yeah.
I'll be right back in a moment.
Alrighty. Christina's got some good ideas here.
Well, remember, I'm the organic brain. You're the technical
Exactly.
brain.
I mean, this is all square. This is easy for me. Okay, so move the straps out of the way temporarily.
And one of the things too, I would like our audience and our customers to understand is, the energy put into art, any kind of art, and this is an art form. So, putting energy into this is important, so that you can feel it. Basically, you're buying some of our energy. You're buying some of our joy.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. Alrighty. So yeah, I will carry on with this with the electronic pack. So what we originally did here is we have our little receiver board down at the bottom, and that's the controller board that runs the servos. And this one up here for Maeve runs the lighting because she's got the LEDs and fiber optics. Hey Pablo, how are you? So we're gonna try
Hey
and rearrange.
Pablo, I'm not on camera yet.
She'll be here as soon as she
Working
finishes.
on it.
So what I'd like to do, or what we're going to do, is rearrange some of the electronics to tidy up the wiring. These are actually the servo cables, so there's really not much option in how long they are. So we can use little zap straps or something just to tie them up and tuck them in between. But moving the receiver board up top, like basically switching these two, and on things like the Monarch Fairy wings and most of the wings, we won't have the secondary controller for the fiber optic, the twinkling lights. So this space is available. But what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to take these guys, move them down to the bottom, and I'm going to take the receiver, which needs to be very open to be able to receive the signals. And I'm going to move it up to the top, and then tidy up a lot of the wiring. The motor arrangement that we've got for this one works really well. The motors are side by side, so it's easy to access any of the hardware, any of the screws, make adjustments and that sort of thing. Hey Jess Pink, how are you? Thank you for joining. So the motors where they are on this particular version are really good. The wings mount to the outsides here. You can see a series of holes here, which is where the hinges attach. So that's very, very important in the positioning of the wings. So I'm fine, thank you. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull out our handy dandy little screwdriver and undo the screws. Handy dandy screwdriver, and pull out the screws that are holding the remote receiver board.
Now, there were some flaws with that design, even though you see in the video they work just fine. They work fine for us, and that's been one of the biggest struggles for Martin and I, has been trying to wrap our brains around the fact that because we have a store now, we are building for you guys. So what is a fine design for us is not necessarily going to be a stable design for you. And that's what this process basically is trying to figure out what's going to be easy for you guys to maintain, what's going to be easy, batteries in and out, we can't make these really rechargeable like we do things like the lightsabers and stuff, because there's a lot of there's a lot more play and movement and stuff in these that is going to take wear and tear. We always have to keep in mind things like you may be doing kids stuff or around people who don't think about what they're doing. My first pair of Maeve wings, I learned from my design that they're not good when someone runs into them at a convention, especially when it was a Wolverine, not paying attention because he was on the phone. And yes, his claws did go into my wings and tore them apart. So we have to keep in mind.
But yeah, he wasn't paying attention to where he was going. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're going to sell these to you guys, then I want to make sure that that they're more stable, that they're more solid. And that's a hard thing to do, is to take your art and redesign it for you guys. So that's the challenge today. So feel free to speak up. Feel free to say, listen, if I were to buy these, this is where I would be going or what I would be doing with them. Feel free to add to the development of the product.
Because this is, as much as we've done a lot of this stuff in the past, every project is almost a brand new experience, right? So once we've got this sort of sussed out, to do multiples, to be able to make multiples and do stuff for our customers, then it'll be a lot better. Because we're so used to doing one-offs of everything, or at least two-offs. When we're doing stuff for a production, you design something, you build it, and you may never build that exact same thing again. So, which makes a huge difference, right? In how something.
We're hoping to build 100 of these, 200, 300.
Ow!
we're hoping to build a bunch of these for you guys. Hey, The gilded, I think gilded feather or something like that. She's been doing large wings for people for years. She's
Oh
built
yeah.
hundreds of these wings. Now she's slowed down now. She's changed her focus to educating people how to build them themselves. And in the process, up the
Right.
cost of the one she's building for other people, which makes sense. She got so exhausted. That's a success story. She got so tired and exhausted building all these wings for people that she has upped the price of if you want her to build and
Mhm.
backed off the price if you want to learn from her.
All right. So
I
she's
mean,
focusing
it's
more on
brilliant.
tutorial than the actual
Yeah,
fabrication. Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
that's how popular she got.
Mhm.
That says a lot. You guys want, and we want to provide because we're getting bored, and this COVID thing is in the way.
Yeah. That's one way to look at it.
Hey, artists get bored pretty easy, you know.
We do. We definitely do.
So I'm nowhere near comments because I'm in the washroom,
Okay.
frantically trying to
We
snap
have
my
Jess
my
saying,
working.
"Fine. Hope we're doing well today. We are doing great. Working away. I'm just grabbing some extra hookup wire and stuff here because I'm going to have to extend some of the wires or replace some of the wires with longer ones because of their locations."
Did Pablo say anything or give a word or?
No, all
'Cause I
Pablo
heard you
did
say
did
hello,
a
Pablo.
hello from Los Angeles thing. He's I'm sure he's quietly watching our broadcast, or he's moved on to
Oh
say hello to
no,
else's broadcast.
we're being inspected by the mighty Pablo.
The mighty
Bum
Pablo.
bum bum. The
We're
Pablo
being
man.
we are being watched.
The Pablo nader.
Uh,
I don't know.
okay,
I've run out of ideas
just
here.
I don't know why. Like every 3 or 4 comments on my haps are showing up as white. So I can't see. Oh, here we go. I see a wonderful creative person. God bless you. Well, you got 2 wonderful creative people right now. One of them still putting on her makeup.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Going as fast as I can. The
we
washroom is not where the
appreciate
computer is for a good reason.
that's true. Oh, I see what's
I
going
mean, I could bring the computer in here and turn on the camera, but that's just wrong.
on.
You know, the cats may be upset about invading their privacy.
Oh yeah. You know, well, cats. They're what they are, aren't they? Yeah, the one at this end, she seems to be somewhere being.
I'm hoping by the end of my program here that we have found a home for her because it'll confuse the boys to come back and
Mm-hmm.
she's there.
Jess says.
And I know we don't want to give her up, but you know, Jess says, "Hey, cool."
Jess says.
No, I don't want to give her up.
8:20 p.m. I prepare pizza here. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you, Jess. Thank you so much, Jess.
Pizza,
Pizza.
pizza, pizza.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, they've got like a common fridge here, and I'm like, oh goody
Oh,
goody, I can mooch.
eh?
And yeah, but it's all things I don't eat, including
Oh,
those microwave pizzas. Oh,
oh
those
my God!
things
The
are
big
horrible.
microwave pizzas.
Yeah,
I
remember
remember
when we
those.
used to eat those before we stopped eating wheat?
Yeah, we used to eat those a lot. I was like, God, what were we thinking?
I'm kind of surprised, Martin, that you and I are not 300 or 400 pounds. We were
Oh, I
really
know,
bad
or
to
at least
ourselves at
major
one
health
point.
problems or something. Yeah.
We still ate better than
Right.
most of our friends, but
Okay, Jess. Yeah, we tried to do about 2 hour broadcasts. We are what just under an hour into it. We do have other tasks that we need to perform today. Other things we need to do.
yes, and I have a schedule here. You know, it may not be making me money going through this, but I'm really hoping when everything is said and done that I am more stable in moving ahead.
That's
And that's important on the self-help thing.
That's hugely important. Yeah.
I hope Pablo was there to consider us for broadcast of the week because maybe they don't have enough. But I'm hoping he'll wait till I'm on camera before he takes footage.
Oh, I know. Yeah, really. Don't watch just me.
I'm gonna be
I mean,
snooty,
me.
Pablo. I'm gonna be seriously snooty. Okay, mascara's going on.
All right.
Which, as we know, the last thing is lipstick and brushing out my bangs to see what they do today. Because I never know.
Yeah. It's all fine. Great.
My hair has always had a mind of its own, man. That's why I love the whole Boy
True.
George look, because it didn't really matter.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. All right. My little screwdriver set. Okay. Jess says I'll try to be back. Okay, working early. So with it being like 8 p.m. So we're Jess that we're
Trying to
9
remember
hours.
where Jess
No,
is.
sorry, 7 hours off. Would be somewhere in Europe, I would think. Because England is
Come on,
5
work the
hours.
memory.
England is 5 hours off, so that would be 6:30
Right, because we're
p.m.
back in Toronto.
in England. So we're looking at Germany, Austria, something like that.
I want to say it, cats and dogs living together, Manchester. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so disconnect a couple of wires here so we can extend.
Okay. Okay, where's my ears?
With your ears on either
You
side of your
say
head.
on each side of my head, I swear to God. Oh, there you go.
Beat you to it. Beat you to it.
Damn it, Martin.
Dag, nabbit.
I am going to get some natural light in here. And I'm going to open the window for some fresh air for the kitty cats.
Fresh
And
air
we'll
is
stay here
good.
instead of going to the meditation room. Because the signal seems to be fine today. I don't know why. I don't care.
Hey, Jazzy.
I think it's because the kids are back at school.
Oh, Jazzy says working early. Oh, okay, yeah, we're working early. Right, it's early here. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like 10:30 over on the West Coast, isn't it? Christina is. She's just finishing putting her face on.
Where's my ears? Stop saying either
That's
side
like
of my head.
that's like. Where's my glasses? I can't find my glasses. Oh wait. I don't know. Where did Baxter take them?
They're in that plastic container you put them in. Baxter would not have been able to take them.
Did he take the whole container?
Okay, look, he's a talented cat, but he's not that.
That's true. Yeah. 1 second while I grab the water for the soldering station.
I can't find my ears. Where are my ears? Oh, there they are. There they are. That's right. Put things in high places when you're a short person. That was really smart, Chris.
Places.
I'm gonna go side by side, so your work area is going to be smaller.
I'm gonna feel a little bit cramped. Yeah.
Like that. See? Here I am.
All right.
No, sorry, this way.
Enough silliness.
Went the
Yeah,
wrong way.
you're on that side. I'm on this side. Ship out of danger. Harry.
Here I am.
Here I come to save the day.
Pablo, you still here? Hi. If you are.
Mr.
Hey.
Pablo. Senor de la Hoya. Are you there? Oh, maybe I should use these.
All right. Oh, good. The one ear survived.
Oh, good.
So I don't have to.
Always good to know that you survived.
As you guys remember, back in October, we did a casting of my ear because I felt it was time for me to have my own custom ears. I mean, the ones I have are still usable, but they're getting thick. And they go on and off, no matter how many times you clean them up. They do eventually get pretty thick. And instead of buying new ears, and because Warina is no longer at conventions that we were going to be at or anything, buying new ears off of her is a challenge. So I am
Those aren't
going
Spock
to.
ears. No, those aren't Spock ears. They're elf ears.
Those aren't Spock ears.
Elf/fairy.
I was using an image of Maleficent as I did these to kind of base it on hers. They're not exactly like hers because I want my own bit of expression, but I think they're okay. And of course, it's a positive casting of my ear underneath there. And now the hard part is like once you settle on one ear, of course, I did the left one first, but I'm right-handed, so because it's easier to swoop and move and all that stuff. So before I clean it up, because you can see it's kind of streaky, and what you do with your plasticine positive, your scalp, is when you're done, you take like a cheesecloth or a porous cotton and you gently press down so that you don't have that glossy finish that you see on mass-produced ears, but more a bit of a skin texture. And then, of course, we put a little cheap foundation in the mix, just a little bit, just so it's a bit of color. You're still gonna have to make up on top a little, but it gives you a bit of a foundation underneath. And then I use usually powders like eyeshadows and stuff like that to bring out the lower spots and kind of brush it in a little bit of red, a little bit of brown to make them more realistic. So it looks good, thanks. Um, so yeah, so I've got to, as you can see, the second one isn't there yet, the right hand one. It's always hard when you're right-handed to work on the right hand ear because your brain is trying to work backwards. So my goal, hopefully, but before the end of today, yeah, this will look like this. So, yeah, this one, as you can see, does not look like the other one yet. It just doesn't.
These things is not like the others.
Holding them next to each other, I realized that the look I decided to stop on curves back more. I didn't realize that, but now that I'm holding them next to each other, see, look.
Oh, that's kind of cool, yeah.
So is the curvature looking good, or should I straighten it out?
Well, I like it. What's everyone else think?
Typical artist, never satisfied, right? Martin and I have gotten really used to over the years of just replicating things. So when something has to come out of our own brain, sometimes it's a little tough.
Yeah.
Even as prop makers in the industry, they're giving you photos and images. So keep the curve. Okay. See, straight up would be more Spock. Okay, keep the curve.
Well, Spock had actually pretty big ears too, right?
I wonder if that was on purpose. Like, is that what they ordered, or is that just how it happened? I mean, I'm still hoping to have time to do a few different shapes and sizes. Just because it doesn't hurt to have spare ears.
Spare ears. Yeah. Friends, countrymen, lend me your ears. Yeah.
Oh, right. The shape of the pack.
The shape of the pack. Yes. Okay. Let's review that again.
Because remember, the less material, the better, Martin.
Hmm.
Looks more natural. Cool. So let me put myself up in the corner so I can give you a little more space temporarily. There we go.
Yeah. Let me put the.
Okay, yeah, I see a problem with what I'm gonna with what I'm gonna say, because remember, the smaller the pack, the better,
Right.
right? Um, the body should be your primary support, not the pack itself. So my thought was just a natural curve, right? What you did is
Across.
kind of like this weird little jutty out, but that's going to bother the body. But a
I see.
nice natural curve across the top,
Right. So we're
right?
looking at the back of it, just curved like that.
Yes, so that
Okay.
there's no corners at all. There's nothing to
Yeah.
jutty into the shoulder blade.
Okay. And then, by the same token, trimming off the corners of the pack, because the hinges actually mount a little farther down from the corner, so we can lose a lot of this up here once I've determined where the electronics go, and then this top section can go as well.
Yep. I don't
Is that
remember. Oh, we had that. We had the top section because we were doing the two posts and the bar across with a fabric cover.
yeah, the fabric and the leather and
So I
everything, the
guess if we're
same
going to
way.
do, I guess if we're going to do a hardcover because that's more customer friendly, um, then we have to keep in mind that there may have to be ventilation holes.
For the motors. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, actually that
Okay.
wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, my hair covers it anyway, unfortunately,
Yeah, but it's still the
but it,
more ventilation holes, the more likely that airflow can get through it, like something from below and something from above, right, to allow convection to vent the any heat from the motors.
so as close to the pack as possible. In other words, the edge of the cover, so
Yeah.
that we can still put a cape or a cloak or flowers or whatever people want can be attached to it. You
Hmm.
know, we can even offer to do that if they want. Um,
Yeah.
and um, what's the other thing? Oh, and it has to be able to open to be able to replace batteries
Yes.
or do any guided repairs. Which is, if you
Not
guys look in our new
guide.
policies,
Yeah.
we redid the whole policy. We redid the whole policy section. I'm going to take back half the window now. Um, that we redid all the policy section to basically state that if you guys are having an electronic problem or a mechanical problem for 1 hour for free, we'll get on Zoom or whatever and try to talk you through it and or walk you through it. But if it's something that you did to it or something that happened, you pay for shipping back to us and we'll do the repair for free, but you have to pay for the shipping to get it back to you. But we're going to basically give you guys the option of 1 hour with absolutely no cost of being on a Zoom or Facebook Live, or not live, Facebook Messenger or whatever is easiest for you that we already have in our arsenal, and and talk you through repairs. But we are doing our best right now to make sure that that does not have to happen and still make it small enough that it's going to be conducive to your costume. And I think, Martin, in the near future, we should look at more attractive straps in case people want to put it over their costumes because we hide it underneath ours
Yeah.
by popping holes in seams. But if you're going to put wings on top of your male character for the monarch thing, if you're going to put the cellophane wings on you, um,
Mm.
then I am not popping holes in that pencil coat.
God no, that jacket is absolutely amazing. I love that jacket.
So your design is going to have to be on top
Hmm.
and it's going to have to disappear.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so yeah, a little bit more like that. I don't want to go down
Move
too
your
far.
hand out of the way. Move your hand out of the
Well,
way.
that's well, I'm covering up the. You
Oh,
can see the other line,
yeah.
right?
So
So
we're looking at a comparison. We're looking at a comparison. And can you please center? There we go.
okay,
You can't go further down because that creates a corner.
on the side here.
Yeah.
The farther down I go, then we start losing where the shoulder strap has to be mounted.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can't make a separate little mount for the shoulder strap.
um. Actually, I probably could. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Remember,
I'll
the
take.
less
Yeah,
material on the plate, the more comfortable it's going to be.
yeah, I'll take it down to here then. Follow this curve a little bit lower. Take it down
Yeah, see,
down to there.
and much more natural. So you're going to have to
Yeah.
make that curve a little tighter. So it's going to get pretty close to those bolts.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Like, make it a natural curve, and it shouldn't bother people's backs. It shouldn't
hmm
make it uncomfortable. We are doing our best to make things comfortable. Please, people, feel free to say, oh, I disagree. I would wear blah, blah, blah. Because we have to find a happy medium between what we're willing to tolerate and what you guys are willing to purchase.
hmm
So feel free to chirp up, even on the replay, because this will be the prototype, basically. We can make some modifications on Martin's prototype. And Martin, we need to put some funds aside really quickly to get another pair of motors.
hmm So a little bit more like that. It's not quite even, but I'll make sure I even
Well,
things out.
I see the side. There we go. There we go.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
My camera froze again, so
Yeah.
I'm
See,
sure.
more material taken away, less material on the pack.
hmm
If you can get away with the curvature being a tiny bit tighter up top, it's hard to see
hmm
without the whole curve. But instead of going high like that at the very top, go a little more smooth. When we used to put pencils on the end of a string?
Yeah. Basically dropping this down a little bit.
Just a micro,
Yeah. Okay.
but so it's a much more natural curvature.
Okay.
You may want to even grab a string and
Uh, yeah. Or I was going to suggest. Hang on. Here, bucket. I said bucket.
you said bucket, right? Okay, good.
Oh, that's almost a perfect size. If I use the bucket as a
You said the
template,
other word. Yeah,
I use the bucket as a template.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go, the nice natural curve, right?
Actually, you know what I will do? I'm going to flip this over, and I use the bucket lid as a template
That's even better.
because I can't use the bucket lid on this side because I have to take the screws off, right? So.
So I guess you are going to have to reposition. Got talent. Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you, Pablo.
Spotlights, spotlights. Hey,
They're,
Martin, do the spotlights with me. I'm
oh
feeling
yeah.
alone. Do the spotlights with me. Spotlights. Got talent.
I know it's a couple of snakes laughing.
Well, we make your hands kind of a little more round.
There we go.
There we go.
Here, spotlight. I should actually
Yeah, this
have
is
like
going to
a
be a
couple
little
of
more challenge than I thought.
little spotlights. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, Pablo. So yeah, this
We need
will work as a
music.
template, and I'm noticing putting this this lid down on top and centering it on the plate. That the two cuts on the top corners there weren't very straight to begin with, weren't very even. So that was probably throwing me a bit off with the symmetry. This is one part where symmetry actually works. So there we go. That's going to be our curvature.
I'm going to resist saying I told you so.
You told me so.
Because I did.
You did. You did. I agree.
I did. Okay.
Right.
I need some
That's
copyright free. I wonder if we'll get in trouble if we play Lord of the Rings because I'm craving that. I want to find a musician, guys, for the October Remember Me broadcast who will do like a Spanish style.
Mm. The Spanish guitar.
Um,
What's Carlos Santana doing right now?
oh my God, that would be so awesome. Hey Pablo, any connections in California? Does Mark know anyone? That would be so awesome to have Santana play through the Remember Me. Um,
Oh yeah,
and someone says Happy Medium. I remember the Ninth Doctor's quirk in the episode.
the quiet at the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why did your audio suddenly get tinny? Did everyone else get that?
What, mine?
Yeah. You suddenly sound like you dropped into the 1940s. Or like you're being played through our phonograph.
Oh wow. We haven't played the phonograph in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I love actually playing things through that horn, even though it's not, clear.
Not high fidelity audio. It's awesome to listen to.
But it's fun. You get into steampunk and you just
There, now the
walk around
audio.
to tinny music.
Now your audio's okay.
Sorry?
Now your audio's okay.
Well then, fine. I had a moment apparently.
Apparently.
Okay.
Maybe it was a
Copyright
signal.
free playlist. I am going to scroll and just randomly pick. Hey, I wonder if I say copyright free jazz. I could go for some jazz. No results. Okay, fine.
No results. There. So let us see here. This one on the actual mechanical plate, the piece I'm cutting off is a straight line cut, so I'm going to use a knife to do that, and then I'm going to bring up the Dremel, the other one. And the Dremel's going to be loud, unfortunately.
That's okay. Gotta get it done. And don't read the comments while you're running the Dremel, please. Let me.
Yes.
If you decide to run the Dremel, don't, or any other, sharp tool, even what
Yeah,
you're doing right now with a knife, don't read the comments. Focus on the blade, the sharp thing that you're using, please.
So there we go. And then what I'll do is I'll round all the corners on this guy too, so they're not sticky outy. But this area up here is where the receiver board is going to mount. Make sure that the antenna is in a good spot.
Can you guys hear the music? Because I'm not in the meditation lounge. I'm concerned
I
about
hear
turning
something.
it up too much. Okay. So Martin and I will do our best to keep talking. If at some point you don't think you've had enough conversation from us, do let us know. Feel free to ask questions about the store, about us, about
type in capitals. That'll get our attention.
Martin. Bad boy.
I know.
Oops, I went too far. I went too far.
This
I found
time
my
you
ear underneath.
are.
Trying to take off excess so it looks like the other one. Do you know my left ear is a different shape than my right, it seems?
Oh, remember, we're not symmetrical. It's like those little photo experiments, right? Where you have a photo of a person, and then you have a photo of a person that's been split down the middle and mirrored, and you see how different those two photos look.
Well, apparently I don't have, well, at least I didn't. I don't know if over the years my face has changed that much, but apparently photographers kept saying part of the reason why I have an attractive face no matter what happens is because I am as close to symmetrical as you can get. I never completely understood that. I took it as a compliment because photographers wanted to take pictures of me. But I just kind of took it for granted. But now that I'm, years later, my brain's going, what exactly does that mean? So I did that. I took a picture and I split myself in half. I was like, yeah, my
The
left and
photo.
right are pretty close.
So yeah.
And I think I'm not threatening because I don't have fangs.
What's that?
I think I'm also not threatening because I don't have fangs.
Oh, you mean unlike me?
Yeah, mister. Let's rub it in, shall we?
I know. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, like I can't think of any other person I've ever met that doesn't have fangs. It must be very unique.
Well,
I'd say
casting
it
directors
makes you
used
a
to have a hard
herbivore,
time
but
with that.
no, you like me.
Oh, I do.
You're feeling a little deprived right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. The mostly vegetarian meals they've got me on is just like pain.
Oh
But I'm going to
dear.
see the process through. I'm going to see the
That
process through.
is the process through.
Martin's going
Yeah,
to see his process through, and I'm going to see my process through.
and we are going to be better people in the long run.
We are.
Better,
We
stronger,
definitely
faster.
are. But unfortunately, for us to be better, stronger, faster, we have to spend more money, which means we have to make more money. So chirp up,
Yeah.
folks. What will you help us design something that you would buy? Whether or not you actually will is irrelevant. Right now, Martin and I are trying to get ahead and would love some help from you guys.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hey, Gina.
Giovanna. I need new glasses.
Eh,
How are you doing today? A little less earlobe. I'm going out for a walk about. See and type to you guys later. You got it, honey.
okay.
Too much material here, too little material there.
Little this, little
And of
that.
course, my obsessive need of magical creatures is to make sure that the ears are even if my real ears aren't. I doubt I'll succeed, but hey,
Morning here, just having my
it's
first
morning
coffee.
here.
Uh,
Your first coffee. Well, congratulations. That coffee is the most special time of the day because it's the first. And it sets the pace for the rest of the day.
yes, it does.
So, for those of you just joining us, we have at the end of this month our pirate story time, which will be all the people who sponsored us last month. And there will be a prize if you give awards during the broadcast of any amount. You can be entered into the draw for the prize. What exactly it'll be, we're not 100% sure right now, but we're working on it.
Something
And
piratey.
for the October one, okay, they said it was copyright free music, but that sounds like a song I know.
Yeah, Rihanna. What the heck?
Um, so the
Rihanna
copyright free is always
hasn't become one of the biggest grossing musicians
nope. So I
of
skipped
this
over the
decade.
music.
Copyright free music.
Um, yeah. So and for October we're doing something special. We are going to do our Remembrance Day of the Dead. Unfortunately, the Sunday before the end of the month, because there are other Halloween plans that we have that we're hoping will not be canceled. So what we are doing is this time, for every $5 worth of sponsorship, you get to give us a name of someone who has passed or a pet or whatever, and they will be part of it. And you can either give us 5 minutes worth of story behind that name for Martin and I to read out, or you can come on camera and you will have 5 minutes. Yes, unfortunately, we will set a timer. You will have 5 minutes to tell us about the person or pet connected to that name.
Mhm. Excellent. Christina, do you want
I worked
to
on
mute?
Rihanna, a concert helping with sound. Nice, you're a sound tech.
Do
Sweet.
you
Now,
want to
where are
or
you?
do you want to mute or turn me down so when I'm running the Dremel it doesn't overpower? Or
Well,
should I
that's a
just mute?
great idea. No, no, I will. I will mute your mic because I've got control. I've got control over you. Okay, your mic is being muted. There we go. Now you can go and do your dremeling all you want. Just don't look up at the comments because we don't want you to lose a finger. Vancouver, BC, Canada. Oh, right, right, my dear. I'm sorry. For a moment, I didn't recognize the profile. My apologies. Yes. So let's see. 2, 1, 12. You're getting up late. I know I did, so I'm not one to talk. But you're getting up late. How did that happen? Right. If you would like to come on camera and say hello, because you're let me see, yeah, right, you're an artist yourself. Right. Okay. Rain is coming back. I have a crowded attic. So you'll please excuse and be patient. The brain is a little overworked lately. Oh, hold on, I'm starting to like this. You're a night owl. Yeah, a lot of artists are. When they tell us that we have to get a real job to pay the bills so we can continue our art, we have a hard time finding a job, don't we? Okay. Um, so it's not finished. There's still a lot more organic with the one ear. But so this is the ear we all decided we really like, right? This is where I've gotten on the other ear. You can see they're two different sizes. One is curved more than the other. Actually, I'm gonna make Martin disappear. So I got a bigger frame here. Make me the priority. And then do this so Martin can pop himself into the corner. There we go. See, now I have more room. Okay. So, um, okay, that's my left ear in my right hand, which is the one we first liked. And here's my right ear in my left hand. So we'll call this number 1 and this number 2. They still have to be worked on. At least this one does. No, this one does. Which one do you guys prefer? One's larger than the other, and the shape is just a little different. I like the right ear. This one? No, sorry, that's my right hand. So this one, because this is right to you guys. Right? So this one? Yes? Yes. Okay. Now Martin, I'm assuming can hear me, but I've muted his mic, so I can't hear him. Um, number 2. So number 2. So Martin, use your fingers. Which do you prefer? Number 1 or number 2? Number 1, number 2. You prefer number 2? So we have 2 votes for number 2. And no one else is tripping up at the moment. 1, 2. So 2 is a little bigger. It's the one I haven't completed, so I'm going to put in the inner lobe and stuff like that a little more. So number 1 was the original one. Number 2 is the one I'm working on now. So if that's 2 for 2, and you guys are the only ones speaking up, then I will work on this one to make it more complete and then make this one match. Cool. So you guys picked the larger one. So it definitely will be more visible. And I got a fat head anyway, so here, like that. look good in the size of my head? I'm hoping I'm on camera. Okay, cool. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's hard to decide because of course, I like them both because I worked on them both. So Martin, is it okay for us to turn your mic back on? Looks good, thank you. Is it okay to turn mic back on? I think that was a nod. Look straight at me, mister. Can he hear me? Oh, he's still dremeling, so he can't hear me. Okay, so fine. I'll let him do his thing. Um, but yes, I'm looking for sound. By the way, uh, I'm hoping to find a musician, but someone who can get me the appropriate music. Um, we're hoping for our story times that we can collaborate with other hapsters and be able to create unique music for our story times. At the end of this month, we've got our pirate story time, and of course, bring attention to fellow hapsters so that we can all, relish in the glory that is haps. But we have our pirate story time, and then in October we have our Remember Me, uh, early Day of the Dead. In other words, a week before the end of the month. A little more lobe in there, a little more inner cartilage. My tongue is broken. That will be cool. So yeah, if anyone is out there and interested, either have their own unique music. It doesn't matter if it's created digitally or you have permission from someone else or whatever, or is a musician and would like to provide music and collaboration. We would love to talk to you so that we don't have to keep like trying to find all this copyrighted free stuff on the uh, on the app, and we'll just make it a nice little volume in the background type thing, and we have no problems like without the sponsorship. Also writing you into the stories so that you have something in trade, because that's what we do really well, the whole writing thing. So I'm going to put a little more ear inside the lobe before I curl over the edge. So do let us know if you're able to help us out on that front. And cosplayers or photographers who have taken pictures of cosplayers or costumes and have had to work with that kind of thing where you have to fuss with a cosplay costume. We would love to have you as part of the cosplay takeover. The last one didn't work out well. Unfortunately, I had cancellations. And that meant that we couldn't really go on. That's okay. We haven't picked the Wednesday to do it in or the time. Yeah, he's trying to, I think he wants to talk. There, your mic's back on.
I'm done making noise. I noticed my mic icon in the corner shows whether I'm muted or not, so I may actually have control of unmuting myself too. But yeah, so I'm done making
But
noise.
you like giving me the power, don't you?
I do. She has the power.
Yes.
Much
I want
better.
a grapefruit juice. I want to finish my grapefruit juice.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So again, folks, feel free to add to the comments anything that you think would help us in designing something that is marketable. In other words, something that you would buy. Because having an online store is definitely a bit of a scary thing for Martin and I.
It's new.
We're used to just designing for ourselves. So this is a whole new, making things user friendly is a whole new world. Let the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
And also with you. We lift our hands. Hold on a second.
Great.
No, I didn't. I didn't grow up.
Jedi with the Catholic Church.
Well, when you think about it, it is a church.
Oh yeah, I mean one. Oh, isn't it Jediism has actually been a recognized religion now?
Yeah, but not all over the world. I can't remember where it was. I think it's somewhere in the States.
Oh yeah, or was it England?
Which is, was it England?
It might have been England.
Because that would make it awesome. Sorry, my American friends, but you guys do a lot of really weird things. It's nice to let the other countries do this obscure stuff.
Yeah, really. Well, the British are very well known for doing obscure things too. So.
And those of you who have said you love the double camera, the overhead, and then us working, um, until we're back in the same spot working this way, we're doing the best we can because I kind of have one of the cameras here.
That's right. Yeah, and I haven't tried it, but I don't think I can plug the webcam into the iPad and have it recognized. I found that other adapter that was still in the box, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, you were right. It was still here. It was sitting up on top of the printer, just a little bit outside of my sight range.
I need it here.
You need it there.
Okay. We shall solve that, right?
We should solve that.
Because no matter what, you're still going to have one left.
Well, this is it. That's the only one I
see. Oh, no, we got 3 in total.
We do have 3 in total. And that's the ones with the USB-C connection.
Or did we only get 2? We could have budgeted back down to 2, which means you can't be without that one because you need it for the iPad. Oh my God, life is so difficult. First world problems. Ah. We are so spoiled, folks. Don't take advantage of that, okay? So this one that you guys picked too is the second one I'm working on. It is larger. So I guess the larger size is better for my head. The other thing I've noticed too is I'm able to make the crevice go further down because it is larger. So I'm able to get much more detail into this one. That's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's right.
Life is like a box of chocolate. Run, Forrest, run.
And then the next step for this will be making a 2-part mold. Basically, we'll make the mold of the whole outside, including the inside of the ear and everything. And then that way, when we pour the material in, we have something that fits my ear. Unfortunately, when we made these molds and castings, sometimes it's hard to do things like this on air because you're also focusing on your broadcast. And in this case, it was just Martin keeping an eye on comments and stuff because I was the victim. And the bottom ear.
Down,
yes, getting my ears mangled from the looks of the casting. So we didn't keep in mind that Martin had to get material underneath my earlobe, just a little tiny bit of material underneath the earlobe so that I would have my free floating earlobe to work with. So this can only be good for ear tips, and we're going to have to do blending. if we had gotten the complete earlobe separated, then I could have made the whole ear come all the way down under the earlobe itself, and it would be
Mhm.
much easier to stick on. I wouldn't have to do any blending. But we didn't, and we're not in a position to make another casting. So right now it's ear tips, and then at some point in the future, maybe we'll do another casting. But Martin's got to decide whether or not he wants pointed ears for his fairy, because Martin's going to start wearing wings now.
I am.
Um, we want to do winter fairies,
Mark,
and me with big, huge wings. And I think Martin, you decided that we're going to do a winter version of the dragonfly wings, right? So you're going to try to
Yeah,
get fiber optics inside moving dragonfly wings, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's going to be a challenge. So we're going to do his more like a dragonfly or a moth, so that we have two different styles of wings for
Just keep me away from the flames.
winter fairies. I can see it now. I don't know what we're going to call our characters, but Martin, stop following the lantern. Martin, eyes here.
Head
We're going to be
towards the
carrying little
light.
flashlights. We're going to be carrying little flashlights so Martin can stay focused. Hey, there are people greeting from the other Martin. Purple Rain is back!
Hey, purple rain,
Yay!
purple
Purple
rain,
Rain,
purple rain.
Purple Rain, honey. So we're doing this Monarch Day of the Dead thing where we're going to collect people in the name of like for $5 sponsorships for every $5, names of a pet or a person that's passed in people's lives, and let them tell stories. Um, we would love to before that day, before the end of September. We would love to do a co-broadcast because you've got a lot of spiritual stuff happening on your profile. And I don't know if you do anything for the Day of the Dead because we're doing this the week before because unfortunately, unless they get canceled, we have plans for Halloween itself. But what do you think of all this? Like, what do you think of us um, doing that, providing that? We kind of did it last year, last minute, and we did it in conjunction with a restaurant. We'd like to also, raise funds for the Monarchs again, because we were able to contribute $70 worth of funds to the Monarchs. So what we're doing with the sponsorships is we get $50 worth this month, and we will give the whole 50 to the World Wildlife because they have a Monarch fund and they're the most reliable and trustworthy. And
Mhm.
anything over the $50, 50% of anything over will also go. And that will include the awards for the broadcast itself. And we are going to do a draw this time instead of for a prize for Martin and I. We're going to do a draw to see who will get the thank you package, which will have like a plush monarch in it and all that kind of stuff. So, because you can give them as gifts. So that's what we're going to do if we can make that goal. Invite. Oh, you want me to invite you? Okay, hang on.
Oh yeah.
It was in my readings, the butterflies. Okay. Oh, I want to invite you. Let me turn off the music too so I can focus on you. There we go. Because I don't like music when I'm talking about things like that, unless it's music that's appropriate. Okay, invite. I will definitely invite you. Hang on.
Yeah,
Hang on, hang
that's
on. There you are. I want to hear about this reading. I want to hear about this reading. Um, since we did our Queen Maeve with the butterfly wings, butterflies have been a major part. And coming back to Ontario, the plight of the monarch has really dominated Martin's and my brains a lot, and the whole
mhm.
spirituality behind it, and Day of the Dead. And Martin and I are really excited to do our little bit to try to save the monarch. I mean, the monarchs have such an incredible story. Incredible story. And I'm really disgusted by the fact that we just keep killing creatures off. Did you know lions are on the endangered list? Or
Apex
sorry,
predator.
the threatened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the endangered. Yeah.
yeah. Like I mean, it's disgusting. There's purple rain. Martin and Martin here. Let me do this so that Martin's still got workspace.
all right. There we
Um,
go.
Hey.
Hey people, how you doing?
Not
Doing
bad.
okay. How are you doing?
Amazing, all that energy is like sittering energy. It's like you have to take it in, you want to throw it out, but the universe is kind of like let me explain a little bit. It's like last readings I did for weeks is all about love and connection.
Hmm.
Um, it's very important, personally as together, and the universe wants to bring you towards a new position, basically, right? New things are good in life. So and it showed up in my reading. The butterflies that is transforming. It's going towards this new area. So that was pretty specific. I was like just like baffled by it. Like whoa, that's the thing that you can feel is going on, and to make connection, that openness, right? Nothing has to be. That's the beauty about it. But again, if you choose to, yeah, go there.
Hmm.
Well, it's when Martin and I got back to Ontario because there really are there's butterflies in British Columbia, but the monarch really doesn't make it that far when it gets over to the west coast. It's not a butterfly that is common in British Columbia. And then we moved back to Ontario, and our first summer back, we only saw a couple of them. And when we moved across country, we remember thousands of monarchs. We remember always seeing monarchs, like every day you walk out the door and there's monarchs.
Hmm.
So that's when Martin and I started saying, hold on a second. Why is there only a couple? Like we're away for so long, but what's the story? So that's when we started researching, and we discovered that the monarch butterfly um, has a migration. They have two completely different strains of butterflies up here in north of basically Mexico, in Middle America, Middle Canada, and Eastern America and Eastern Canada. Um, the monarch during the spring and summer lays eggs for a monarch butterfly that only lasts 3 weeks,
Oh wow.
and they just keep laying eggs and laying eggs. And then this time of year, like they've already started their migration. They start at the beginning of September. They lay one strain of eggs that are hardier, and they spend 2 months, a month and a half to 2 months, flying south to Mexico, arriving on or close to the Day of the Dead. So the Mexicans um, perceive them as bringing spirits and souls home. So they make the monarch butterfly a major part of their ceremonies. And then they're down there for a couple months over our winter. And then they start laying eggs for, they only last 3 weeks, the eggs they're laying. So they lay eggs and lay eggs and lay eggs and lay eggs. And then they lay the hardy eggs just before the migration back. And those hardy monarchs fly back north for spring and summer. And then the shorter living monarchs get laid, and they lay eggs and lay eggs and lay eggs. So there's two completely different strains of monarch butterflies carrying souls back and forth between up here in Canada and down there in Mexico. And they're threatened because people are getting rid of the milkweeds that they live on, and the trees that they live in down in Mexico are being chopped down during forest deforestation. And one of the big activists, like there was a couple of activists last year, they got killed by, they assume murdered by the forest companies because they were in the way of these companies chopping down these trees that the
Or someone
monarchs need to live.
in the forest companies, yeah, in the lumber
Yeah.
companies.
So the monarch is an incredible story, and it's spiritually connected, and it's a beautiful story. So Martin and I decided that every Halloween now, or at least every October, we're going to focus on trying to raise, no matter how little or how much, we're going to focus on trying to raise money to help save these butterflies, and to say to the world, our bees and our monarchs, especially here in North America, they are so important. They pollinate our plants, they carry our stories. They're like major part of multiple cultures, of identity and of spirit and of So we've been kind of obsessed when we made my Maeve costume back in BC. I chose Maeve because she's an Irish folklore character, and I kidded her up a little bit so the children sometimes don't feel threatened to hang around. But the story of that
Yeah,
particular
made her
fairy
a little
is just
more,
amazing. hmm
a little
So
more
we've
involved.
decided for our store things like we want to focus on in our online store. We want to focus on butterfly wings, and we want to focus on wizard staffs, and we want to focus on these things. Originally, we were thinking everything Star Trek, Star Wars, easy to market, easy to do. But Martin and I weren't feeling it anymore. We weren't feeling it. We were just like, that's just commercialized. That's just, it stopped being, it stopped being beautiful to us. We still like doing it,
Mm,
and we won't deny anyone if they say they want, a Jedi communicator. That's fine. But we want to work on these wings, and we want magic this time in our art.
Hmm.
who doesn't
You
like
know,
magic,
and
right?
yeah, I think the world at some point got scared of magic.
I
You
see it
know,
differently.
got
I see it differently. It's
do
like
you?
in the most simplest thing there, magic, we basically get separated by it. And I studied a lot of Buddhism and etc. Is where you get split mentality or from the feelings. We separate everything, but everything belongs with it as one being. We temporarily look at it. What a meditation is, you look at it. That's it. And by that you're getting more closer to it, but also it gets close to ourselves, right? Is we're trying to find a deeper meaning as towards ourselves, and if we project it outwards and it comes close, that's sometimes scary, but it brings a sense of little essence of anxiety. But the miracle is just around the corner, and it starts with self, right? I
Hmm.
hear about activism, it's a good thing, but also you have to recognize not just about activism, what can you do by yourself for the butterfly, not just to put it outwards, just to project it here, some money, here, something, is plant a tree, make a butterfly bush or what that stuff
Yeah.
needs to allow it to be there in the first place.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like planting
everything
Hmm
you can
milkweed,
do.
which a lot of people up here have been doing now.
Yeah, yeah, I can do a reading for you at least. That's what I can contribute is what it means for you as right, Chris and Martin. What this means in a deeper spiritual way, and we easily it comes back to the simplicity again. And I feel as an empath, there's a lot of trembling anxiety as an empath, and it happens. And I see
hmm
like meditation. That's it. And let's discover what it means for you. If you feel, are if you're up to it, I can do a quick one
Yeah,
of
we're always up
shamanism.
to it.
The insect world of the shamanism is a great topic because they support it a lot. It's they say it is all about connection of the state of being. If it's a butterfly, if it's a human, if it's any kind of animal, all it is one big being as separate, but then again as oneness. So it's all about connection. It's a metaphor too, and sometimes we lose oversight, we lose that connection, and then we lose our connection to ourselves when we get distant, and that's not what we want.
Hmm.
No,
But
no,
there's,
I grew up an indigo
yeah,
child, so I grew up struggling with a lot of sensitivities. It took me years to figure out that it was okay and that it was me. I lived in a lot of shame and fear. And when life got kind of hard more recently, I started ignoring a lot of who I am. And that became a very painful thing. And I don't think anyone should do that. So what
Hmm.
I'm trying to say is I'm open to other people and their skills and who they are. And our readings are always welcome. And because again, it's interpreting the universe. And you're never wrong, but you're never right. It's really up to the universe as to where it goes, especially after we
Yeah.
voice it. So if you're okay with the fact that we're still working on things, we would love to hear. what you're
it's just
getting.
the tip of the universe that I want to give to it. You are the universe is not out there; it's in you. Like I said in ancient things, it's not out there; it's in you. Nirvana is
Hmm.
most of the ancient sayings. Everybody hears that and think it's a place somewhere over there. And if it resides in you, oh, and immediately literally means from Sanskrit that inner space, right? Inner heaven,
Mm.
Right.
haven, where your heart loves to be at. And we
Yeah.
start ignore it, we separate ourselves into two. We got split personality, and it's not always a bad thing. We just get very
Yeah.
traumatized, but it can be useful, right? And that's the point. It can be
Yeah.
useful. And let's see, let's go, let's find out. I got a great old
Okay.
deck of,
Yeah. Love it.
if
Let's see
I,
what you're.
maybe I hope I can show it in camera view,
Well,
right?
let's see how clear your camera is right now. Let's make you number one. Let's make you
Yeah.
bigger.
Cable or
Oh,
something in
yeah, we
front.
can see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
this is
there's a
like of
cable in front of the
shamanism.
camera.
So I have like two decks that comes close to it. This is one more objectively,
Hmm.
so very
Okay.
sober
You have a
scene.
cable in front of your camera, honey.
Is that so? Oh wait, let me make it right. There we
There
go.
we go.
Awesome.
All right, let's find out where this goes to. So let's do two quick decks, two quick readings, and see just the signs that are there, right? And uh, about you were telling about yourself about being an indigo. It is you have to what I started to recognize is if you're an empath, if that's somebody's energy, it's theirs, it's not yours. And definitely when you're an indigo, you
Yep.
should know it's not my
Yeah,
deal.
I had to learn that the hard way. And when I got lonely during all the COVID, I kind of forgot all that. So I'm trying to get back to rebuilding my filters because I'm not. People keep saying build a wall. I don't want to build a wall. I want to be part of the world. I just need to build more filters.
Yeah, but being alone is not a bad thing. It's a state of healing. It's a state of
I
healing.
need to be the world. I
She does.
need to be the
Yeah.
world.
I've known her for 34 years, and yeah.
All right, so the first one is clarification. So you got the wise owl, and it says pretty much as the west, and it needs to clarify the situation. What you do with the butterfly, that area, it needs to be clear. As they, what is this that we're being busy with dealing with, right? And I'm not gonna judge what people do. Thank you for the subscription. Offering enrich them, right? Offering enrich them. What am I giving? What am I giving, right? Do I give it to something else, or is it for me? It is. You need the clarification for in which box are you putting it, right?
Right.
That's the
Hmm.
offering. If it's for you, why are you giving it away? It's your present. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, there you go, right? It needs to be just crystal clear. Healing herbs, and that stands. So this is all about nature, what you perceive as the butterflies, right? See it as nature, and it's about the truth. And the truth can come in pretty hard, but can, right? If you say like a more open way, quite interesting. What is this about, right? And we're going slowly to the words, the mystery. But I put it on top of the cards. That's gonna be fun. The clocks and bells, like the reindeer. His headset, right, of the reindeer, right? It's like spider tingling or whatever you want to call it. It's like, hey, rendezvous, this thing is coming up again, basically. The sea creature says, why would you bound yourself so much if the dolphins can do it with boundlessness? They don't see the problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They just be. The more you're into it, the more that evolves. It doesn't even matter. It's just being its greatest sense of being. Just you. The shapeshifter. And the shapeshifter that comes next in shamanism is for perspective, right? Get a greater
Right.
perspective. What? You can turn into a monkey or a wolf or a bear. But the greatest
Or lion.
essence is about self, right? It doesn't have to. You don't have to wear the mask. But in shamanism, it could be a great. It's like what you guys do, like cosplay, right? See a little bit like that. But the end of it, the end of the day, it's still you. It's all about perspective,
Yes.
broaden this perspective. The insects here, what do come up? Look at this card. I'm not joking.
Oh, a dragonfly, Martin, a dragonfly.
And a butterfly,
There we
and
go.
you
Yeah.
leave that out as the insect world as support. You're asking for support, but it's like you like to give, but not to receive. Yeah, it's like okay, it's a choice.
We do have a hard time with the receiving thing.
You do,
It's
yeah.
just
Both
be
of us, it
receptible.
seems.
You give. You cannot always give, but it's allowed. It's about how do you have to perceive that in common English, like.
Well, in the case of us, we're struggling with the whole pride versus confidence.
Yeah.
So
It's about basing. That's how I always tell it myself.
we,
I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Period.
yeah,
I'm worth it.
it's confidence, not necessarily pride. So it's a matter of getting rid of
It's a
stubborn
natural.
pride.
It's a natural way of. It's a natural way of being that builds the confidence, right?
It is great. Much love to you and Martin.
Anyway, the
Thank you. I'm
Nar.
assuming that's red eye.
Yay.
Quickly go over it. The Nar and challenge, right? It's quite a challenge for you guys, and the universe sees that.
Yes.
Yes, quite a challenge. It's like, ha 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 ha, here I am again. Laugh a little bit. Jesus, like, are you guys that serious? It's like,
Right.
it's just a little bit openness again. Right? The power shield protection. All right, I'm gonna read in the book a little bit about that power shield. It's like mentally, emotionally, the best way. I always see like a golden shield in the magical spells. They're like pew pew pew, and it just shoots off, and it makes
Right.
it very funny. You don't have to go so in depth, but let's see what's specific in the power shield for you guys. Let's see, 58. So we're going straight towards about other meanings and a little towards it or saying. So other meanings: protect yourself carefully with difficult situations. The ugly words of somebody else in your surroundings. Um, it's like you're kind of the wrecking ball with your energy. You're strengthening the psychic protection, but in a way be careful how you put the energy also there, right? It's a healthy balance of
Hmm.
how to see it in two ways. Visualize a circle with a clear white light around it and others as also they're trying to make you ridiculously or how they look on to you. But if we change our perspective, right? I always say I'm not gifted. It's a lot for them, or they never had it. It's a deeper way of looking into it, right? Then we say, oh, they're making so fun about it, and they never had those things. How can you react otherwise? It's
Hmm.
not their fault.
No.
The power shield speaks anyway. Um, I can tell you of your personal journey. I carry your story carefully and wise. Keep me close, then I protect you. Be reassured, and nothing can touch you. It's a
Hmm.
very deep, profound. But let's see in a more magical way. I like more magic. Heck yeah! It's like we don't have to be that freaking serious. This is just the basics, and come on now. It's like go silly, chase each other around the room, laugh, or whatever. Right? Comes naturally.
Hmm.
We have that as a child, that their brains, even their skulls, are open to everything, and they live so much more in the outside world than we do. As the adult verse starts to live on the inwards area, and that's why they
Hmm.
stated that made those statements. Is when you go through those phases, it's important to know it's still there. It didn't leave. They told you, and etc. It's still there basically. See it very basically. Then you start to slowly understand it. Let's go with. Let me show though. The wisdom of the ancient oracles. So we got this deck now, and we put it over the cards.
Okay.
So we're
Beautiful.
gonna see, and it's the they got a certain. It has a certain kind. This area that you have has a wisdom into it, and it's not always clear, and that's okay. It happens. It sneaks in easily for everybody. Even that, how do I deal with? Let's say I'm receiving your empathy, right? As the nervosity and all that. How it's Martin here, this side dealing with. I said it is their experience still. I see then how it calms down. That I'm then basically more helping out with that,
Right.
as to
Right.
not just for myself, but it works always. Things works always in both ways, and that's how you can more openly see it. It's like at the end of the day, who am I doing it for? And that's a big, difficult question. Who am I doing it for? It's a very, very difficult, but then also an easy question, but difficult at the other end. And let's see
Well,
what
yeah,
the
same
cards
with
say.
same with us. Like, I mean, our art, we have to do it for ourselves for it to work, but we have to sell it in order to make a living. So there has to be consideration to everyone else. So we're kind of doing it for both, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
So I have the L first, and it's about communication. So the Y is L, communication. Then we got
Oh, it's twice the hour now.
yeah, it's like a double confirmation. The offering, and then we got Ockham. That's like this Irish lettering of stripes as a straight line with stripes, and it makes an alphabet. What says it's about nature. People think it's like an alphabet. You missing out in Ockham, just it, because you couldn't. Even when you read it, you're not reading it. You're not paying attention, you're listening, and that's about your nature. We want to determine how the nature is. It just is, like love just is. I had a confirmation about just asking the greater, if it's my higher self, people call it God, whatever you feel comfortable with. And it just is. Just look around when you do it. When it is just there, allowing it. Start to see what happens around you. First, yeah, you got an impression and it started to come like 50-50. It's neither good, it's nor bad. But if you really allow it, it's not for a reason you're not allowing it. But that's okay. It's just to be there in the moment. Experience how it is. So nature just does, like it's all love. Healing herbs. So it's the truth, and then destiny comes over it. Right? We sometimes have a purpose, yes, but destiny is bigger. And it's about making choices, and it's not always easy. Some people go with a purpose. Some people have the trying to get the rain boots on and say, "What? I'm not trying. I'm getting them on. I'm going."
Yep.
Anyway, the clocks and bells. So defense, thunder and lightning. There's power there to be found. All right, awesome card.
Always.
The
No
sea
thunder and
creatures and
lightning.
boundlessness. Now it gets pretty interesting. They're like, do a gamble. Take a gamble. It's like destiny, and it kind of makes sense. Like the dice is also represents destiny. But carefully and consider it. You can take a gamble. Come on. Just but it's like a tryout. See it like a tryout. Why not? Give it a gamble. What do you gotta lose?
Come on, Martin.
Um, Shapeshifter and perspective. Shapeshifter and perspective. Numerology, and it says accurate. So it says on point. So keep it simple in that area. Insects and support, you get mastership. Right, I know a simple area about self, and that is your. They say you nurture your mind and not your emotions, and that means you as one being. As to what you get then, if the mind doesn't pay attention, if your emotion doesn't pay attention, you truly see and listen. But it depends on. Otherwise, we're going to separate that again. How you see with your brains or with your feet. It's just mastership right there. It's this ultimate sense of silence, right? Where you perfectly can observe how it is, the meditation, and don't have to overdo it at all. Challenge, the Nar, the Joker. The Black Mirror, and it's about projection, and it's always about self-projection. Even with magic, all the thing they easily forget, and this about you, who's staring in the mirror.
Hmm.
Right.
Uh, wasn't me. Right? Yes, it is. Power shield. and you get the runes and perception. So we go see a little bit about the runes, is what they're trying to tell. You have the darker runes and the white runes. And this is about the white runes, and mostly those are for healing, but also there were the black ones. So, but let's see what they say in this deck about the runes. Where is it though? Perception? No. Is it like a Great Arcana card? Oh, I have the wrong deck. The other book. I was like, something's not right. That's the thing. Alright, runes. There we go. 82. I got two decks. That makes sense. It's important to see things a little bit differently. So put yourself in the place of other people. That your words and your deeds seem to work against you. How do they feel? Right? You have to allow yourself. Nobody can make you. Still a choice. Instead of to see as a sign that they just don't like what we do or what they do. It's just a point of view. As the words maybe also to a chance, as a situation to better. As the mind to open up. If we start, that thought runs in. Actually, what we do is close it down. We make it the narrative of a mind. It's a better idea to go towards the road you have to go. The runes is a reminder of a cast, or right, if like the dice you throw it, as to see what the outcome is. You don't know. If you do, let me know. There are not a lot of people can do that. We have all cock on their side, but some, yeah. The people that seem to be your enemies, maybe offering the most important lessons, and it's like comes basic towards the criticism. They're not attacking you, helping you out. But who's wanna be the best has to accept those lessons, right? Then they become better. The better they do. And that, I saw a guy, for example, that was he started with art. He got better, and he had his own view. Yes, he did. He got to Disney eventually. Went to the studio, started to learn there. And he got at Disney and shows her his art. He says, this is not it. And he says, yeah, but I like the criticism about you. Tell me why it's not it. It is not Disney. It is your view. Point made. When you accept that, he started to make that art. Guess what? He got a role. Boom. That is simple. But anyway, the spell. My way of seeing brought me to fall. As you fall down. Clearly, now I see everything. Out of everything, I have to learn my lessons. And to honor all that is good. Other explanations. Don't judge that soon, that quick enough. A certain situation can come from every corner. So there's something to learn here. Understand it is a standpoint or point of view, what we say, as from somebody else. Is this still me? Right? It's a good question. Is this still me? Or did somebody talk in your ear like, listen, Chris, this is how you got to do it. Chris say, yeah, that's right. Still listening, Chris? Or Martin, or both? It depends. You know your situation, no better than me.
Yes, I'm listening to a lot of this,
You're
and I'm
behaving
hoping Martin is too.
Yeah.
you're behaving unreasonable. It's like, right? Just reason again. Stand up, give it a go. Study the runes for spiritual growth and understanding. And what you later see, when there's growth and understanding, you reach the max, what happens then? It's just the beginning again. But then it's the unfolding of everything as towards destiny. Anyway, this is about the runes. We're not going to do that. So let me have a look into it a little bit in the text. It's not always easy to. Sometimes there's a hidden message into it. Sometimes it's just clear as day. For my sense, if I'm a medium and I listen to her with my feeling, you already made the decision, but you're afraid to take it. You're afraid to take it, to take a gamble. But what is wisdom, right? You're not going to throw everything as your investment into it, but we can lose a little. And if that's affordable, why give it some, give it a test. Let's see what happens.
Mm.
And it can be
Very valid, because both of us have been very drastically affected by what happened back in British Columbia, and how who we are was used against us in a very public way, and basically shut us down. So both of us are scared of it happening again. It was a very traumatic experience. I'm not used to people. I mean, I'm used to people not liking what we do, but I'm not used to people slandering to that level. And
yeah,
we
it's
tried to
still
take a legal route, and it didn't work. So it's a whole different thing for us. Like, we're still ourselves, but this is a whole different batch of opportunities being suffocated by previous opportunities.
Hmm.
And I know we're both aware of that. The question always becomes, can we both just trust, again?
yeah, but sometimes it's a scary part. It's where you open up and it's nothing like what you thought, what you felt like you weren't there. As sometimes the cognitive side can go there, but we just don't even approach it. Don't even lay it on the table. What about it?
Hmm.
Make it not discussable. Have an open conversation. People start to discuss it. There becomes the problem. It's gonna be this fight. It's not gonna win. Nobody's gonna win. It's where this open conversation, and this is always with friends or with his ideas, is the interesting part. What is brought forward, right? Even the greatest people did it. Nobody can deny that, and it is scary. And it is it's this area where I look at. You have two things. So you have about the butterfly is the materialistic part, but what about the spiritual aspect? Put both on the table. It's like a separation, a part of yourself, what you leave out. We can't see it. It is not for what we experience as physical there, right? But it is there. And everybody knows it, but it is how you deal with it. Yeah, it brings that separation in you. You don't even have to deal with spirituality. It still is just you. And if you let it, you start to separate, and that brings problems. And what we do like not just more than one, we know where we like to go at, and it's the opposite of one. So you got one, desire, need, necessity. What is necessary to get there? Then you got the wish, and you all know already. Not everybody, but like let's say, roughly, right? 50-50 knows. What's there is always in the corner of your mind, and you
Mm-hmm.
can approach it. Why be afraid of it? It is mostly, it is
Mm-hmm.
not even about it. It is about you and what your person experience. But it is all about attachment, right? And there's a lesson to be learned in attachment. Not that you have to throw everything away, what they say in those books, you're missing the point.
Right.
Maybe those people had the hardest problem, so they told them, it's like, if you want to follow, then throw everything away. So you learn value again, but it is in the deeper essence, definitely in these times, we do know that. And it's a spiritual aspect. It's more than freedom. It is where
Mm-hmm.
you exceed. If you got freedom, you got captivity. So how do you gonna rise above this captivity? Where
Take
we put
responsibility
ourselves
for the
into it.
freedom.
Yeah,
And
it
take
goes above
responsibility
freedom.
for your freedom.
It's
Yeah.
more about it's we have two ways of responsibility.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's you and the ego. Then we think it's wrong, right? That the ego is wrong, but the ego it's called self care. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Well, this is
And
what
how
I
do you,
was
you
talking
don't have
about
to fill
on
it in. You don't have to fill the self care in. It just is. It's love. It's simple.
is one of the things I was talking about on Michael's broadcast yesterday was the whole ego thing and how that word makes certain types of people really uncomfortable and other types of people really happy. And
What the term self care?
it's no ego,
Oh, ego.
It
ego,
can
you know.
it can piss you
And
definitely off. Yes.
it's ultimately it's just a matter of we're all going to have ego to a certain degree, but can we control it? Control the ego. Don't let it
No,
dominate you. You have to dominate
the
it.
positive nor the negative. You can't control it. You can only balance it.
Yeah.
First, you have to learn to let go. That's why they said you have the good and the bad. Both don't get away, right, little kid? Yeah,
Right.
but the other was right,
Well,
and you know it
Martin,
as a parent too. You know that the kid was right. It's not the point. You have to make a point. You have to make a standpoint.
yeah,
Hmm.
And
Martin right
it's
now
not
is trying to
always
learn how
easy, and
to.
definitely when we grow up, you don't have the parents around you to tell you, listen, Chris and Martin, this is why you got to do. I hope not. Otherwise,
Well,
right?
Martin's got to let go of his mom, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, but
his
it's yeah,
parents
but
did.
yeah, but if you it is always the projection you put out, Chris, too, towards Martin. And for Martin, it's like this
No,
dominant effect. No, no,
hang on
no.
a second.
Let me hear. Let me speak
No, no,
out a
no, no,
little
no,
bit how I see it.
no, no,
No,
no. We've we've
okay.
we've we've had
It's
we
nothing.
have had this discussion before.
It's that's
We have
okay,
had this
but
discussion
yeah,
before. Um, my projection because of who I am is usually based on the person
okay.
that I'm communicating with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part of the whole indigo thing is I have
Yes.
spent most of my time in my life not knowing what's my feelings and what's his. Therefore, the energy constantly comes onto me, and I've been accepting it. And that's been a very
Yeah.
difficult thing for me for most of my life, and that's why I'm an artist. Um,
Mm,
Martin has to take responsibility back, and it's a difficult thing because we are extremely close, and he has gotten comfortable with it. I have made immeasurable efforts to make sure I'm
mm,
not like her. And when Martin feels that he's deprived of her, he will poke and poke and poke, and it becomes overwhelming. I chose not to have children because children can become so overwhelming that I will always give in to them. And because they're other human beings, especially without my filters in place for the past few years, um, I constantly mimic them and
mm,
become what they want. It is a really draining thing to be that person because that was the person I was as a child. So my struggle right now is to not take responsibility. When he pokes and prods and wants his mother, he's got to understand I'm not her. And if he pushes too hard, I always do give in to that, which is why we are trying to right now recapture the artistic partnership, in other words, the company, and the original friendship, because the original friendship was before his mother had a say on her life. The original friendship was before she passed away during COVID. The original friendship was basically the only place we can reset to. So that's why we're looking at living in two separate places, even though that'll, increase our expenses, which is why we're looking at maintaining what we know has
mm,
nothing to do with her. And that will give me the freedom to truly be me, and hopefully him the freedom to spend much more time alone being independent, which he's never had to do. He's never had to have his own place. He's never had to have his own budget. He's never had to. If I were to die tomorrow, Martin would stop functioning. And that's not what I want. If I'm going to leave this life, I would like my legacy to be whatever we build continues on.
mm,
So I've got to redevelop my filters. I've got to reinstate my independence. And I've got to not be in positions where I can replace his mother. Leaving him alone, which I don't want to do, but I have to do, leaving him alone to have his space, to have his home. It'll only be a room because it's not like we can afford two apartments. And the one he's in right now is where our business is located. So that's where I'll
mm,
move back to when I'm done this program.
This is the
Um,
workspace.
but uh, but yeah, so that's what we've agreed to, and he's fighting it because the child is trying to win. Whereas times like this when we're on air or we're building stuff together, or we're doing things in our business or friendship, he's not. Like, I mean, he's not that person. He doesn't have that thing to fight. So
Hmm.
it's a matter of he's got to lead the way this time. I led the way last time. It's now his turn. It's his mother that has passed. It's his family that's handling this differently than my family would ever handle anything. And he's got to understand his parents are no longer here to bail us out. Um,
Yeah,
so
about
it's
it. You're
it's
talking about the inner child. Yeah, I see. Hmm.
yeah, when the inner child takes over, he stops functioning, and he
Hmm.
expects me to pick up the pieces because I have been picking up the pieces. So now's the time for me to go back to who I am deep down inside and return to our original friendship before his family had any say on our lives. He has a very overbearing family. They're always very difficult for me to deal with.
They're not watching, are they?
So
I have it on a
I
spiritual way
yeah.
too. Yeah, on a spiritual way too with my twin flame, and I'm actually that very irresponsible kid, but it is where emotion sets up and it separates us, even if it's a deep, profound experience. And
Mhm.
you start to blame yourself with it. It is has to see
Yes.
where it is. But if that comes from her and I hearing it clearly, like I don't want to meet you yet, where does that lie? With me or with her?
Mm-hmm.
It's about
Hmm.
acceptance, where it is. Of course,
Hmm.
I do have my parts. Everybody does. Chris does. Martin does. But I can project
Well,
my emotions onto her. She got her deal, and I got my
what
own. That's what
I
I try
would
to tell.
love to see from Martin, and I've been feeling this way for a while, is he was the one many years ago
Yeah.
that encouraged me to cut those antlers and make runes out of them. And I haven't seen him use them. I would love to see Martin use the tools that he knows he has at his disposal because he loves ancient languages. He loves,
Mm.
he loves the symbolisms. He loves, and that's why I made those runes. I would love to see Martin feel comfortable in going back to the tools and having his time with those tools so that he can relearn how to talk to himself and then come to me and tell me who he thinks he is so that we can actually work with it. So we have something
I
solid.
deal with it.
It could
It
be.
has to do with acceptance, and that goes vice versa as individual.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Hmm.
just a meditation. See how it is. That was it. You don't have to overthink it.
Hmm.
You don't have to get over emotional about it. That's it. From that basics, you come much further. It's pure wisdom.
Hmm.
But yeah, it needs
Yes.
action, and you can't demand action. It gives an uncomfortable way of your inner being, right? That you don't feel like
That's right.
what the bleep 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 dot 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 skulls and whatever, right? It is not a fertile ground because
Nope.
we're being that we're not just being told, we get wisdoms of our parents basically, but do they
Hmm.
know, and what do you know? It depends. Some people don't know, some people do know, and
Well,
there's a difference in what you
and
experience as a child.
when you do know whether or not you use it, if you choose not to use it, then nothing's going to happen. If you choose to use it, then there's a greater chance that something will happen.
It's what I always do, and maybe that's a thing, or for Chris, maybe for both, is what I do is transcendental meditation. You get in the spot right there. And it's everything that
Ooh.
I think or feel about is just you being put at the spot. And
Yep.
it's nothing there. It just strangers in there. There's nothing to prove.
Yep.
There's nothing to prove.
Nope.
It just shows the real you. And that's it.
You got to do what's right.
No, it's about a more open way of perspective as how it is, how it really is,
Yes.
and not trying to walk around it and we kind of know that, but we experience this outer level as we're trying to be that kid again who we used to be. We're that adult now experiencing an inner experience. And then
Mm-hmm.
when it becomes spiritual, that doesn't mean the kid doesn't have a profound spiritual experience, but just from the outer side. And
Oh,
we
don't
start
I
to
know
lose
that
that's the
one?
inner side. And that's
Yep.
proven even in science that it
Well,
is. But anyway,
Martin, we've pulled Mastercards for you 3 times now. And
Introverted.
do you want to tell? Yeah, do you want to tell everyone what card you keep pulling?
Yeah, introvertedness. So more or less along the lines of being one within myself and the introspection, and as much as I can be out there amongst people and communicating with you guys and doing the broadcasts and everything, it's still there's a deeper part of me that I need to be connected with within myself.
I
And
see
what
that's
cards
I see
do I
it's
keep
for
pulling?
Martin. For Martin, if Martin has these cards, right? For example, now Martin has this Mastercards. I'm talking about Martin, your partner, right? Um, let me get at that again. So if you have invertedness, right, live all the way inside, you want to see Martin be the extrovert
Here,
in a sense of way. But I see it more simple is if you are in a new area in your life, right, it is scary, but you don't know yet.
hmm.
Is do you reach out towards that spot? And you're kind of right, Chris, but it's like I always tell that there's someone's own choice to do so, to experience, to see it more in a
Oh
broader
God,
view.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I don't think it's my choice. I keep trying to give him his choice. He doesn't want it, and
Okay.
that's a hard thing for him is
Mm,
to listen to himself.
okay.
He tends not to. He's always feeling wrong, which is why we're on platforms like this, so
Yeah.
that he can talk with the public as he works and be able to see that those negative words inside of his head are literally just negative words inside of his head. I mean, I've been, when
Yeah,
I was a
we
kid, I
create
had
we
to
create
face
separatism. Yeah,
so
that's the
much.
thing with it becomes this divide. Becoming as one being. That's
Hmm.
very true.
So I will finally, there it is. His MasterCard reads, and I gotta take off my glasses because these are no longer my prescription, so I can't read anything close at all. As a master, I often turn to my internal realms, where the original qualities of peace, love, and well being reside. I see the inner meaning of my existence, the purpose of my life, and I am content.
Yeah.
So that's what
It
he
means
keeps
another way,
pulling.
just love, right? Just love. It means just love.
Yep,
Just it is just is. You don't have to
internal
practice
self
it. You
love.
can never learn it. It just is by
Nope,
being
it just
in that
is.
moment you start experiencing it. And you get to new
Hmm.
areas, what's a new seems like to
So
be new. Yeah.
I,
Awesome
I
card.
am I am looking at the time, and last night I pulled concentration, so I'm going to concentrate on what has to be accomplished within a
Of
time
course,
limit.
of course, of
Um,
course.
and I want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate your
we're gonna
time. I
go.
hope that definitely the reading helps out the most, right, in your experience, and that it gave what you needed.
Oh, it's lovely, and it's great to be able to show the rest of the world that the whole concept of reading is interpretation. So many people feel threatened by people reading, and I always remind them that it's just like reading a book. You're
Mm.
going to read the same words, but everyone's going to see it a little differently. It is what it is, and when you see movies and TV shows that are based on books and they're remade, they're made in the 50s and they're remade in the 70s and they're remade. It's the same story. It's just a different generation. So
Mm.
that's the thing with readings. It's a good idea to talk to different people and appreciate what they're able to do and understand that in the long run, it's your own interpretation that matters,
Yeah,
not necessarily
yeah.
theirs. So thank you so much for helping me demonstrate that and for being here. And
Thank you, Mark.
thank you so much for finding a butterfly. Yes, and Martin thanking Martin. That's always so funny. It sounds like Martin's thanking himself. Which Martin? I don't know. Um,
Maybe I have a good suggestion. Like if Martin ever feels like, if you feel like a dude, I always say like a dude to a dude, right? If you ever feel like being on my broadcast, I give energy, daily energy red spreads. It's for everybody, and see how you are perceiving it. I this now for I dealing for weeks with it. It's a very profound experience. It's about love and connection, and all those things do come back. It's quite interesting, but nothing has to. But I'm just offering, like, if you feel like it, you're welcome.
Oh, appreciate
So
that.
you can see
All
that
right.
it is not from women, but from a man too. Yeah, but I wish you the
Hold
best,
on. We'll have that conversation another time because I
of
already tried to
course.
have it with you. I am more a man than a woman.
She is. Yeah.
We
So
can go
much.
back
He's
at
I'm
we
okay
actually
with
can
more
that.
a woman.
we can debate at that later. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
He's
definitely.
actually more a woman than I am on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Martin is very effeminate in real life.
Yeah,
So
we can go
um,
into subject about femininity and masculinity, definitely. So yeah,
yeah, we're actually not going to, honey. I've done it so many
it's
times and
it's
I'm tired of
okay.
fighting that
It's
battle.
okay.
So
It's
we're good.
okay. It's all good for
Okay.
me. It's
All
all
right.
good for me.
All good.
All right.
So take care.
All
See
right.
you.
Later, we'll talk to you
Thank you.
again. Thanks.
Thanks
Talk to
for
you
info.
again. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Oh, that worked better than Desiree last night, where
Just the.
we couldn't disconnect her. His went,
Oh
so
yeah.
he knows what to do,
Won't
what to
go
teach
away.
Desiree what to do, whatever he did. Yeah. So I would like to know, like, okay, here's the ear you guys picked, more or less finished with the exception of texture. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna switch this around to make me the priority. So I've got um, the bigger screen here for a moment, and there's that. And so that was the one that wasn't picked to work on. You can see the size difference. And this one's a little straighter. I curved it a bit. And this one's still much more curved. So the question is, this one wound up deeper too, probably because it's larger.
Oh, inside the
So
tip.
think of,
Yeah.
yeah, think of photography, think of all that stuff. But if I build up too much, I'm going to have to make it a particular shape inside into that skinnier kind of vein look.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make this one again and this two. So which one do you like that I will finish? That I will make the other one match.
I
One,
like. I like number one.
two. You like number one? So we're back to
Yeah.
number one, the smaller one? Okay. So I will make this one match that one. Because I really don't care which one. Yeah. So I'm going to switch back to you because we've got
Okay.
about 15 minutes, 20 minutes left before we have to end this and get on with our other obligations today.
Things. Yeah.
And
All right.
I'm going to give you priority so you can show us what you've accomplished. There
Well,
you go.
I
You've got priority now.
absolutely nothing. Yeah. It's good. So what I've managed to do here, I'll show you guys. The back plate has been remodified according to what we sketched out earlier.
That looks like it'll be a lot more comfortable.
I think so. Yeah. And what I may do is just go over the edge of it so it's not a square corner on the edge. Sort of smooth it all off, give it a bit of a round
Yeah,
over.
and smooth the black stuff down,
Yeah.
the other
Mm-hmm.
plate down to match.
Yeah, yeah, in the corners here. Yeah, because the hinges are actually down here, so I think I can take more of this off. And now that I've mounted the electronics, I can trim away the top end of this as well a little bit. So what I've done on the control end of it is I've moved the receiver board from down here. I've moved it up here. And what I need to do, I'm gonna package this. These are the controllers for the LEDs, for the flicker LEDs for the Mave wings. So I'm gonna wrap those up in a little bit of heat shrink or something and package them nice and tight.
Right, which will exist on wings that we make with fiber optics, but on the moving wings that we're going to start selling in the store, that section will just be missing.
Exactly, and it's literally it's an add-on component. Wire it in or don't wire it in. It doesn't affect the rest of the design. So yeah, and the controller for the servos is still here. All the servo cables, because we don't want to cut those short. They've all been sort of tied in and zap strapped so that they're nice and tight out of the way. So that leaves us all this nice big open real estate down here for the battery to live. And for ours, currently, we're going to be using the rechargeable batteries. I like Christina's idea of going with a non-rechargeable pack for the the customer wings. It means they will be
Yeah.
changing batteries pretty much with every gig, but if we design
But
it with a
think about a day at a convention.
Mhm.
If someone's wearing them for 12 hours, if they're as crazy as I am, or as foolish as I am to wear them for a good 12 hours, um, carrying around replacement batteries will be a lot easier for them if they do die in the middle of the day to
Yeah.
just switch them out, which means we should either create the whole pack should be able to open, or I think what might be more stable for the end user is that we create some kind of battery pack lid so that we
Mhm.
screw the cover down as a more solid thing,
Yeah.
right? We send them instructions as to attach the wings to make it easier for us to mail them,
Mhm.
to ship them, because the wings are big, guys. To ship them is going to be the challenge.
That's
Um,
true.
but if we can, send them instructions as to how to attach the wings, and it's just a matter of a couple screws, right? And then they screw down the upper plate, and then they screw down the battery compartment. That way,
Mhm.
when they're out of the convention, they have a little kit with them or they have an assistant. And we always recommend, especially when you wear wings this large, that you have an assistant with you. And these will be able to flap the smaller wings as well. We will be designing the smaller wings so that you can flap them as well.
They'll
It'll
all
be
have
the
a
same
common,
pack
they'll all have a common hinge uh, spacing. Yeah.
opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should leave the sides completely open.
Of the
So
shell.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that people can easily, be able to attach, even if you want to attach something completely different, if you just want to buy the pack. We have
Mhm.
no problems with that. If you made your own wings, just we will tell you what the maximum weight is. That's a big thing. But we don't mind selling these packs separately either. If you've
Mhm.
got wings already that you love and they're under whatever we deem the weight ratio will be in the long run, we'll run some tests. Then by all means just buy the pack. We'll leave the side open so you can make the determination.
Mhm.
But do be careful with things like wigs and hair. Like put a cape over top of it if you have a really long wig, put something over top where the mechanism is, or you'll
Mhm.
just get it tangled up. But things like that we'll keep in mind for you guys. Where was my brain? Oh yeah, batteries. But yeah, I
Mhm.
really do think that if it's a smaller battery compartment with a small screwdriver that they can either hide in their costume or have someone carry with them,
Just a little hat.
they can easily replace the batteries as opposed to ours, which are rechargeable. Because if we put the same rechargeables in that we do for ours and it completely runs down, they will never be able to charge again.
Yeah. That is the drawback with lithium polymer batteries is if you let it go completely flat, it's dead. So you always have to monitor it and make sure that you're not draining it too badly.
And that's you see the lithium polymer. That's our brains working as prop makers
Yeah.
because that they will give you a really long lifespan once you charge them up. They will keep your wings going for hours and hours on end. But again, they're expensive. They're unpredictable. I may, if this works out for the staffs and the wings to just go back to using regular batteries, Martin, I suggest we do.
Hmm.
You know, we may go through a lot. I don't know, but we're gonna we should use this one as a test. So this one should be made with for regular batteries if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like four
So
four
let's
cc.
make this
Yeah.
one. Let's make this one what the end customer will want to buy.
Hmm.
So we can see how long it goes on the most common types of battery.
Yeah. Making some notes.
I love it when he makes notes. Thank you, other Martin. I think you inspired him a little. He didn't say, no, I don't want to make notes. I'm so smart. I'll remember it all. Has nothing to do with smarts, guys. when you get to a certain age, that crowded attic is, well, crowded. So why
Mhm.
push out the important stuff with something as trivia as writing down regular batteries instead of?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I see we have 15 minutes left, basically. So Martin, do we want to spend the 10, 15 minutes with conversation? Or would we like to end now, because I don't see us completing any of this and giving them a greater progress within 15
Mhm.
minutes.
Yeah, because
And
I'm
I
certainly
would like,
able to do all the straps and the testing and everything on the back plate in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So
okay,
yeah.
so I'll
Well,
tell
what
you what I'm
actually
going to do. I'm going to,
we
yes,
are at 2 hours and 45 minutes, right?
yes.
Wow.
So it's actually over what we originally agreed to, but it's cutting it close to other obligations.
Hmm.
So I just turned down the volume on the video.
Okay.
So what I would like to do is run the video in the main window, and
Hmm.
we can talk about what we've discovered and what we've done and why. And I was hoping to find the Remember Me video because it's got you in the Day of the Dead makeup, and
Oh yeah, the
I
sugar
thought
skull
that
set.
would have been awesome. But I can't seem to find it. I know I uploaded it on Haps in a post a few ago.
Hmm.
Um, and I think people are off lunch or whatever or moving on with their day. So now we can see based on responses um, when people are most around. Why, Baxter, do you keep sneezing?
What has
He's
he been?
sneezing a lot in this room.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in the other room. So there may be something here in this room that he's reacting to. I'll have to figure out what it is. So,
Uh-huh.
what do you say we run that main video and talk about the changes we're making? Um,
Let's do it.
and you can start with the pack because the pack is a major part of this outfit. And then I'll
Hmm.
talk about the ears and things like contact lenses, which
Yeah.
unfortunately I'm not wearing, but it is part of the whole look.
Good type.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, you can hear him, eh?
That's like a human sneeze. It's so big.
Baxter, you don't have COVID, do you? Please,
I
bud, don't have COVID.
hope, I hope not. Because yeah, it is possible for cats and dogs to get it. Apparently, I don't know if it's fatal for cats and dogs. I didn't hear
I
whether or
don't know,
not.
but Pippin's giving him this nasty look like, what the hell?
Dude, keep it in, man.
I think I'm gonna have to go through this room and see if there's
If there's something that they're,
what would he be sticking his nose in?
mm, or is it one of the cleaners that's being used?
The cleaners here are no different than the cleaners in the other room, the smaller room we were in. Like, I'm happy to get a bigger room, but
Hmm.
there's something here that's gonna make him sick.
A bigger room and
All
have
right,
cleaner.
I will deal with it when we're off air.
Okay.
All right, so here we go, Martin. You'll be first. You can talk about the changes you made and what the goals are in the design to make it more friendly to our customers.
More
Here we
user
go. Video
friendly.
is coming up.
So one of the first things we looked at here was the position of the wings and how they relate to the shoulder blades and the body. So we're adjusting the length of the shoulder bands to bring the wings up just a little bit, and as a result, we trimmed all the back plate down so that it doesn't interfere with the shoulder blades. Right, it doesn't bind into the shoulder blades. And you see this very very square back shell there, which was very very quick to put together for the Halloween for the Day of the Dead thing. We're going to do a little bit more of a smaller profile organic because our whole mechanism has gotten a lot smaller, and we're going to do it in plastic instead of the foam core that we use for the quick um, uh, quick solution for that event. What I did on the backplate was took originally the receiver board was down here, and it was actually not getting signals as nicely as it could because it was blocked by the metal in the servos, the metal of the battery that was immediately next to it. So we've moved it up top so that it and its antenna are much more exposed and much more able to receive the signal without anything blocking it. Because there were a few times where I'd be hitting the button and couldn't operate her wings at all. I'd have to actually walk up behind her and almost like stick it right up to her back to get it to operate. So this will improve that.
Now, yeah, we're going to take away the whole signal aspect, right? We're going to run a cable to the pack for the customer.
That's actually very, very true for our customers. Instead of having the actual receiver board, there will be a little cable, little plug in here and a little plug in at the other end. That you can run it through your costume, down your sleeve, into the palm of your hand or something, or on your belt or whatever, to be able to turn the wings on and off, like the flapping and the position of the wings.
It's more budget friendly and much more reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll essentially clear up that entire area of real estate, but we're going to keep this pack sort of the same anyway. Trim away the upper area here above the board just to sort of match it to the base plate. The wings themselves mount on hinges here, so that's sort of a fixed point. We're going to make sure that those are all the same, no matter what wings we're selling. All the wings will have that same fixed hinge position and mounting base size, so that the back plate is the same no matter what set of wings we're selling. And then instead of the rechargeable batteries that we've been using for all of our wings, we're going to look into a design using like non-rechargeable, like easy to find, easy to buy alkaline batteries, so that, and a little hatch in that back cover plate, so you can just remove the battery hatch, change your batteries, and put it back on again, without having to disassemble everything to get out the batteries to change them.
Now, I know there's a different power rating on rechargeable batteries that you can buy on the market, and I'm going to turn the volume down on this one as I run it. I know there's a slight difference, and you can see. Actually, I'm going to make this one the priority because I want them to see the smaller wings. These are the static smaller wings we were doing for other customers, so they will be able to attach to the mechanical pack as well. So we're going to make sure those are the wings that he was talking about. I'm going to bring the volume down even a little bit more because I have no idea how much people can hear us. There we go. So, that's what he's talking about. But when it comes to batteries, Martin, I know rechargeable batteries that you can buy in the store are a slightly different charge than the ones you buy that are not rechargeable. And I know there's some stuff that you and I have purchased from other people that specifically says do not use rechargeable batteries for that reason. Are we able to make our wings with rechargeable batteries? Like, so for example, you say they're double A's and it's going to take 6 double A's and it's a layered up pack or whatever, 4 below, 2 on top, whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Are they going to be able to run these wings off of 6 rechargeables or 6 that they bought that aren't rechargeable, or are we going to have to tell our customers that they cannot use rechargeable batteries at all?
They should be pretty much interchangeable. I could look into that for sure, but I don't see, there's no reason that they couldn't use rechargeable, AA or C cell batteries as opposed to using the alkaline AA or C cell batteries.
If there's such a thing as rechargeable Cs, because we've never used rechargeable Cs, and I don't know even if our charger can recharge them.
The little charger we've got does AA's and AAA's, so you have to get a larger battery charger to do C cell.
So would you say if Cs are the way you're going, because it sounds like Cs are the way you're going, and they're not as commonly in use, probably because of their physical size.
Yeah. There aren't that many boomboxes that take C's and D's, right? So
that's right. So if we're going to say to our customer, here's a size that is not that common and easy to find, are we willing, if they want to use rechargeable C's, are we willing to budget out for our own pack a set of rechargeable Cs and the recharger, and be able to offer that up to them as an additional cost so they don't have to run around and try to find such things. So, in other
We
words, they
could.
may have to wait until we go out and buy them, but
Mhm.
it'll be an additional cost if they want us to find the C batteries and the recharger.
Mhm.
Because you're
Yeah,
talking about a
we could
size that is not very common anymore.
in rechargeables, yeah, or in general, yeah. Yeah, because I think double A's probably wouldn't last more than about an hour in this pack.
Well, can we stack up? See, this is where my weaknesses are, folks. So I'm asking on your behalf. If there's additional questions, please, by all means, ask. I don't. I could do the electronics. I could learn the electronics, but there are other skills that I'm more interested in learning. So that's why I'm picking Martin's brain for you. Um, can we do it? Can we design it and do it with something like double A's? Like if it takes 6 or 8 of them, like I mean, how does that work electronically?
That's a very good question. I never, I never had experience with like most battery packs are series, right? So you got like four double A's at 1.5 volts each is 6 volts, right? And then if you hook them up in parallel, you get that same voltage, but you get twice the current capacity. I've never had experience with doing that with rechargeable batteries, so that's something I can look into.
So if we're able to get back on tonight, which we may or may not, but if we are able to get back on later on tonight, would you have that information for everyone?
I could do that, yeah.
Because I think the sooner we can give our audience the information that I think some of them have been waiting for about a year now, but we've had all these moves, and we're very blessed and lucky to have a possible customer base that is patient enough to allow us to make all these moves. However, I think it's time we step up to that plate.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stained glass we were talking about, and that's in the other video too. The stained glass paint we discovered is a heavier wing, so you can see that it or the mechanism that he's got in front of him can flap these wings. So lighter wings are going to be easy to tell to flap. Um, but here's the key thing: those are the cellophane ones. The cellophane ones are lighter and take less time. The cost difference between making you the cellophane ones and making you the stained glass ones is massive. I mean, we're talking $200, $300, $400 between the two. The stained glass, as you see, does give a richer color. However, we felt that it might be outside the price bracket. So we've taken them off the page as a sale item and requested, if you want the stained glass that badly, request a quote because we have to find that paint. That paint is not readily available on the market either. So we will have to go out and find that paint. And those of you who've been asking about these mechanical wings, there is a woman on the net. She's not doing them as often now, and she's upped the costs on them, and they are not easy to do. When we designed these, we didn't take shortcuts. We basically were stubborn enough to take a lot of what we learned from other people and go, we'll do it our way. So you're seeing a very successful wing. However, we ignored a lot of the mistakes that they had made before
Mm-hmm.
and designed a wing with a lot of the same mistakes that they had. So that's where ego, and that's what we were talking about. Ego's got to go for Martin and I. We've got
Yep.
to go back to the artists that we're actually designed to be, and be proud of what we do in order to be able to sell it to you, the end user. So these are not the wings we're focusing on right now. If you want to pay a pretty penny, we will be happy to redesign the wing and learn from it and create a product for you. But our focus right now is the flapping mechanism, which is a lot easier to create than the more complicated wings opening. It doesn't mean we're giving up, because as we're watching her kind of peter off because she's saying there's a lot of work, and that's why she's teaching people now, we are just putting it on the back burner and focusing on this style of wing because it's important to us to give you product as soon as possible and as available as possible, because a lot of you have been asking, and we are so sorry. 8 moves in 2 years has had quite the effect on us and our cats. Um, so, Martin, if you think you can get it all tonight, together for tonight, and
Yeah.
be able to accomplish the other things that we have to accomplish individually as well as together, and maybe we should come back on tonight and do a double whammy today and get caught up on our promises to our customer base and our audience.
I like that.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah. What
So,
time do we
Martin,
want?
well, I don't know. We'll have to let them know when we know, because there are a lot of things we have to get done today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to sound like a mummy, so let's not go there. So I'm going to take the dominant position for
You're
a
not
moment.
moaning, shuffling, so.
In my case, the Monarch video, you can't see. You can't see, what I'm working on, because it's not dominant in the video. So what I'm doing is I've been using purchased ears, which are fabulous, but they've built up and built up and built up, and even though they came from Weta, they are still purchased ears, and the latex is not as soft and not as viable and not as close up worthy. And we've gotten to a point where the edge is so thick, like it was already thick to start. They completely cup completely over the ear with just a little hole in it. And I'm also having a hard time with hearing certain things, especially when you're somewhere where there's a lot of loud music playing, like a festival or an event. So I've gone back. I haven't done this in years, to making my own tips, and I've forgotten. I put them down. I've forgotten which one Martin said he liked, because I don't care. So I'm going to ask him again. I don't know if these are in the same order. So let's say this is 1, and this is 2. And I'm not going to tell you which one was the first one. I guess you can tell, because this one's much more subtle, and this one's nice and deep, and so they both have their advantages. So think of my fairy characters, and think of the organicness of it, and which one of these two, this is 1, this is 2. Which one of these 2 do you think I should focus on making the other one look like?
Turn them on edge again.
You can see 1 is larger, 1 is smaller. This is larger, this is smaller. Here, let me do this so that there isn't distraction behind. And curving them out is something that I can easily, fix. So, but you can see 1 is, this is thicker but smaller, and this is larger but thinner. And again, I can make it thicker if I have to, but I don't want them to be too overbearing, but I don't want them to disappear.
See the face again? I like the depth of the relief on the.
This is 1, this is 2.
Hang on. That's 1, that's 2. On the number 1. I like the depth of the relief on that one.
Okay, that is the larger one, but it's thinner in material, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this one?
Yeah.
So this one is going back in the bin, and this one is going on the table to the side.
All right.
As for contact lenses, we are looking for another contact lens supplier. Martin's supposed to be practicing wearing contact lenses. I have no problem with wearing contact lenses. Apparently Martin does. Still, he hasn't had enough experience.
I don't have a problem.
I think
that's a problem. So yeah.
Sorry, say again.
I said I don't have a problem wearing them. Once they're in, I'm great. But yeah, it's getting them in with
You have a problem with them.
With them, I do.
So he's supposed to be practicing. He's supposed to be wearing contacts for these broadcasts so he can practice. Yeah. Oh, the pen does not work on this. Okay.
Sharpie.
Oh, the pen does not work on this material. Don't have a Sharpie.
Don't have a Sharpie.
Don't have a Sharpie. I don't. So, my goal is all the organics. I have to find a new contact lens supplier and take a risk and a chance, because the one that we've been buying from, which has been an excellent product, has upped their prices, and they're still running out of the ones that we commonly use. Our goal for both of our Monarch characters is to have those brown eyes, those golden brown eyes.
Brown to
I bought
orange.
a pair last year of. I bought 2 pairs last year of non-prescription ones, but we run the risk of scratching our eyes. I'll do it, but I'd like to avoid that. Now, Martin's farsighted; he can get away with wearing them and have less of a risk of scratching his eyes, because farsightedness is a different shape. Like it's a much shallower shape to the eye, whereas nearsightedness has got a more curved eye, which is why the non-prescription ones are a risk for people who are nearsighted, because it doesn't curve the same, so it scratches. It kind of pulls in and scratches. So yeah, he has less of a chance of getting his eyes scratched. So if he wants to try them, then all the power to him. But I will need a pair myself, and I am considering. I haven't really gotten to that point yet as to whether or not I should do a little bit more of a Mexican Day of the Dead look.
Oh,
To
do the
kind
sugar
of
skull face as well.
yeah, not as much as you.
Hmm.
You can back off too a little bit if you want, but get my skin tone whiter
Yeah.
and do like little swirls, like with either a metallic color or, and I encourage you to not stick to black either.
Hmm.
If once you get into white face, so to speak, um, you can experiment with some colors and think of the Monarch colors: black, orange, yellow. So it might be kind of neat for you to experiment with like a yellow eyeshadow,
Yeah.
and doing the curly cues, and like leave your mustache black, but do the other details on your face with a really nice dark copper type thing,
The swirls.
so that we look like a combination between Faye and Sugar Skull.
Yeah.
So we have more of a magical look to our makeup. Because I do love you. I wish I had the photos saved on this machine. I don't. I did love you in that Sugar Skull look. I thought it was incredible.
She
And
did love me.
I wish I could be showing them. So, just to do a recap, I'm making Martin and I disappear and putting the Monarch back on for a minute. There we go. So just to do a little recap, modifications are being made on the mechanical pack for these wings that will lift the wings up a little bit, get it a little further away from the waist, making it easier to sit down, doing a curvature to the top of the pack, so being closer to the shoulder blades. It should be just as comfortable. It will completely change the design of the cover of the pack itself, creating a battery situation that is much more friendly to the end user, to the customer, bringing it up and making it so that other wings can be attached to it. So either your own wings, so if you just want to buy the mechanical pack, you can, or the smaller wings that we also design can be attached to it. And working on things like ears. For me, it's a more personal thing because it's a molding and a casting. But if those work out, we may ask a friend to try out my ears to see if they can be, or how they can be modified. If you guys like the shape of my ear tips, then it should take really nothing to be able to modify it. No, go away, other video. Um, should be easy enough to modify it for a customer end use if you like the shape of my ear tips. Because then what I would do is I would just pour um, an additional ear tip and trim away all the inside stuff, all the stuff inside here, and use my ear as a full mold to basically go around the whole ear. I may have to recast so that my earlobe is up and in the open, but it should be easy enough to be able to make ears that are more for sale, or even just trim it back. But again, shapes of people's ears are pretty distinct. So if you guys like the ears, Martin and I will have to discuss as to how to make it marketable, no matter what your ear size or shape is. But that is a much future project. And right now, I'm only redesigning the ears for myself
Yeah.
and see what you guys like. We have 6 designs of crowns for sale, fairy crowns for sale on the store. We are working on larger crowns, and once we've got those up on the store, the next we'll be working on magic wands again, doing more electronic magic wands like we did before. You guys seem to really like those. And more things like wizard staffs and staff heads that are more friendly to convention goers and cosplayers. Um, my Maleficent staff, which Martin has there, has never been taken away from me as a weapon. Martin, do you have it in reach?
Yep.
We'll just take a minute to show them how flexible it is because we've got a few minutes. And then we have to head out. We may be back tonight. This is my Maleficent staff. I'm really good with full finishes. The unfortunate thing is because it's flexible, the more you handle it, I will easily tell you how to repair the full finish, or if you want to pay for shipping, I have no problems redoing the full finish on top. But the flexible material and your hand sweat and everything does affect the fake finish that makes it look like wood. If you look up where the button is, that one's electronic. I'm going to make a bunch that are non-electronic, and then we can discuss with people the electronic ones. If you look there, the paint is completely gone, but that's okay. That's where I hold it, which is why I haven't bothered redoing the paint job in that spot. So if you're holding it in the exact same spot all the time, as you can see, the rest of that staff is still intact. But these are very convention-friendly staffs because we make them flexible, you know. But it's just that area that wears off, so I haven't bothered repainting it because it's only going to wear off again. So if you can do the same thing I do, it is an excellent type of staff to have at conventions that you're not going to hurt anyone with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's really you'd have to really hit someone hard, and then you're seriously destroying your staff. And I love walking up to security, and they go, "Oh, we have to confiscate that wood staff," and I walk up and I hold, hold where the button is, and I take my hand and I push it, and then I offer it to them to hold and to flex, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, I have never had my staff taken away from me at a convention." Martin has had his staff taken away from him because it's bamboo.
That's right. Yeah.
So if he wants to do his fawn character again, he's going to have to start reconsidering redesigning his staff. He used it for balance though, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
So, but we'll think about that later
But that's
because
another story.
yeah, he doesn't seem to have the urge to use his font lately. So we'll take this one step at a time. Fairy
Mm-hmm.
wings and crowns, and
Yep.
then staffs and magic wands.
Yep.
So if everyone's good and if everyone's patient, we're gonna do better than we did before, guys. We've now settled. We've now settled. We have a set space we can work from. It's small, smaller than we've had before, so our brains are gonna have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's real, and that's very important to me.
Yep.
Very, very important to me.
Likewise.
So we may or may not come back on tonight. Martin, have you gone through everything that you wanted to go through?
Yes, I have.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
I end every broadcast the same way. Respect yourself more than anyone else can, and everything will be just fine. Self-respect, self-love. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what your life is. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have that, you have nothing. And a person is a person of
Here,
their
here.
word. Yeah. Hold to your words, folks. Don't say it if you don't mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't say it if you don't mean it. And hey, Martin,
Yeah.
say see you later, Martin.
See you later, Martin.
Everyone, Car Hunger, CarrHunger.ca is the store. We are clearing out anything that is not cosplay or that has been damaged. Maybe you can make something from it yourself.
and that sale is going to go on until I think the end of November is what we set it as, and then we are donating what's left from that sale to a shop or somewhere, a fundraiser, whatever. But all the cups, all the glasses, all the ABS stuff is going bye-bye. We are no longer in a position to cut ABS by laser cutter. So all that product is going to go bye-bye. So now's a good time to get in there and see what's left. And you can find us mostly on Facebook, Instagram, and here as Car Hunger, CARR.
HUNGER.
As Martin falls asleep. This month's story time is going to feature sponsors from last month. This month's sponsorships will go towards next month's story time, which will be the Day of the Dead, where for every $5 you sponsor us for, we will let you give us a name of someone who passed or a pet or whatever, and we will be taking that money if we reach $50 or over and donating to the Monarch Fund at WWF in order to try to save the Monarchs, which are on the, they're not extinct yet, so they're on the, I keep forgetting what it's called. Martin? They're not on the endangered, they're on the endangered list. And we'd like to see if we can do our part in saving. So this time, instead of a prize coming from us, if we're able to give that money to WWF, we will be able to send to the winner for the draw on that one in October. We will be able to send the winner the package that we would normally get, and we would have it sent to you instead if you win that particular draw for that broadcast. So you'll get the Monarch package instead of us. So that's the way we're doing it this time, partially because, this way we don't have to spend the time for the prize, and we can have a little bit of a breather to focus on creating the product and the wings and getting everything ready. But it will also give money to WWF for the Monarchs, and we can mail it directly to you, and that way we can give the money and we don't have to come up with money for shipping, because it's already in their expenses. So the more we raise, the more money they get, and the better the prize you get. So everyone, if we're able to come back on tonight, watch, we'll at least give an hour's heads up, and we'll talk to you all later. So thank you so much for being with us. And the closing video is going to run now. So Martin, I am muting us. And bye-bye. Oh, you can do later, folks.
Keep the time.
We had a great time in Montreal. Montreal was all hard and floors, right? Go on, camera. Okay.
I'd like want to. That's my favorite thing. That's why
Next to the
people.
hot food.
No. Oh, look, hot food.
How much styrofoam?
Way too much styrofoam. The birds are confused. It's like, what's this city doing here?
We're gonna leave us hanging.